Florida to, I don't know, Texas, I would pay the $100 U.S. Fish and Wildlife permit for that individual specimen. And then once it's approved, 60, 90 days, 100 days, whatever it was, and it didn't get schluffed off some person's desk into a waste paper basket, then you could ship the glob. I don't know if they're still allowing that. And like Michael was saying, it might just be threatened species and not endangered. I don't remember. But
Well, like Bobby Pebbles always says, you can just gift it, and then it's fine.
well, and honestly, they used to. So, just to stay as vague as humanly possible, there was particular animals that I used to keep that we would gift back and forth with letterheads saying, I, Phil, am gifting to Bob this animal, and like a picture of the baby in the deli cup with like, the newspaper date, like a ransom, or your digital Casio watch with the date of it, just to make sure. And and then from what I gather, they're not letting that happen anymore because so many people were jipping them out of the $100 permit. So who knows what they're gonna do now, or what they are doing now. I'm so out of it in that regard that
Is that is that Florida or is that U.S.
that's
Fish and
U.S.
Wildlife?
That's U.S.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Florida's cool with the import stuff, as long as your U.S. Fish and Wildlife stuff or your U.S. Department of Agriculture stuff is all ducks in a row. They only care if you have a Florida import permit, which I was just telling you guys is completely free, but they want to know. They want to know what's coming and going. So if you drove to a Repticon in Georgia and bought a bunch of ball pythons, they can have ball pythons in Georgia, right? I don't know, but pretending they can, you can drive them back provided you had that permit. If you don't have that permit, then you broke the law.
So I find it interesting because you guys have rules between like your states, right?
Yeah,
Your states are our provinces,
right.
and we don't. Like we can move anything from anywhere in Canada to anywhere in Canada with zero
Well,
permits.
there is something that because so we've had Environment Canada show up to some of our shows
All right, go
just to
for it.
like mostly checking turtle and tortoise stuff. Honestly, is what they're mainly looking at, and maybe some like CITES one stuff.
Are you
Basically,
talking about
like I
more
think
indigenous
they're like
animals? Or?
well, they're more there to like I think well they've been told probably by superiors to like look out for tortoise and turtle kind of stuff. Even though it's all captive bred, we can't import legally any tortoises or turtles into Canada since I think the early 2000s. I think it went into law. And now I think in 2020 or 2019 it was the same for codats. So those also can't come. Actually, I think you can get a permit maybe for some stuff, but like it's a lot harder to bring in codats than it
But
used to be, right?
so if I want to send you something, whether you're in Calgary or BC or in I am not going through any type of border security. I'm not going through any
No.
type of security. I'm not going through any type of fish and wildlife like in the States or border control here, right? So I can literally ship anything
Well,
anywhere in Canada with
they
zero
might check the
issues.
box.
Who? Who?
They check the
FedEx?
boxes. No,
Really?
there is some depending on the province, or it could even be like actual like Environment Canada. They
Hmm.
may actually still check your box.
Have you ever had a
That's
box
how
checked?
one of our people that we know got arrested overnight for bringing newts that are not allowed in Alberta into Alberta because an employee packed them accidentally, and
Interesting.
they checked the box, and well, they were in there.
All
So
right. Well,
they will periodically check boxes.
I guess I
Not it's
assumed
not
they
a
never
staple,
did,
but
but I guess it is possible.
Yeah, man, it's crazy how a lot of animals, government kind of doesn't give a crap about, but for some reason, man, salamanders, newts, amphibs, like if it's an amphibian with legs, oh man, they are on it
oh yeah,
in the United States.
I think Alberta's Fish and Wildlife takes their job sometimes a little more seriously to an extent in terms of that, and also they'll show up to pet stores too, like even because like Doom Rules and Argentine boas, they've been in the country since when CITES one kind of came into place and when Canada joined CITES, and they're like they always come asking in the pet stores, oh, do you have your paperwork for it? It's like there's no like they've been in the
Yeah,
country for 40 years. Nobody has the paperwork.
yeah,
Are you going to do anything about it? No. Then why are you harassing me? Kind
yeah,
of thing, right?
yeah.
we don't have T positives. We don't have anything weird that shouldn't be here. So we're just breeding the same stuff that we've had for the last 40 years. But yeah, no, they'll show up to some of the reptile specialty shops every 4 months and make them basically close down for the day and show them every single animal.
Yeah,
And it's
it's wild, man. You gotta have your T's crossed and I's dotted. You know.
yeah, yeah.
There you
And
go.
then stuff
Well,
that is weirder, they it's like, oh yeah, I have paperwork for that. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I've actually recently had I've been off socials a little bit. So if you message me and you're listening to this, I'm sorry. I'm a horrible person, but I have had several people reach out to me about venomous stuff in Florida, and I got to turn them away. I got to tell them, hey man, not right now. You know, it's not a no. It's just a not right now because I'm not having people come over my house. You know, and I'm not in a space to teach people or physical space, not mental space, and that sucks because I know that the next generation wants to get into it and they can't. You know, Florida did the laws that they did on purpose to make it so difficult that no one would want to do it. So it is what it is,
Yeah.
man. Got to roll with the
You gotta go
punches.
clean Gila monsters for 1,000 hours straight.
Oh, don't even get me started, man. Ugh. Oh man.
Yeah.
all right. Well, everybody, welcome to Reptile Rejects. Today, if you haven't figured it out yet, our guest will be Phil Wolf.
Hello.
Boom. Michael, you want to get your spiel started? Because I figured after 6 or 7 minutes, we should probably start. I don't even know what episode we're at. 30
We're at
something.
episode 35, I'm pretty sure.
If I can chime in real quick, you guys can't hear all the crazy wind I have in the background.
Now it
Nope.
sounds good.
Okay, perfect.
You're all good?
Sorry.
No worries. Alrighty, so Reptile Rejects is proudly brought to you by Cornell's World, one of North America's leaders in reptile caging. They build some of the best PVC cages and custom reptile enclosures in North America. They also can supply you with any of the reptile supplies you may need, from Herpstats to ReptiRad heat panels to even those custom rock backgrounds from Universal Rock, and any of your Zoomed and Exoterra, Arcadia. They basically got you covered, including cleaning supplies. So yeah, go check out Greg West's site with cornellsworld.com and place your order today. Also, go check out the Western Canadian Reptile Expo. The next show is in Calgary, April 19th and 20th at the Acadia Rec Center in Calgary. And you can purchase your tickets online ahead of time. And there should also be a VIP hour if you want to get in ahead of time and get some discounts for the vendors. Lots of vendors do discounts for that first. I think it's an hour, but I could be wrong. It might only be half an hour of the show if you want to get in early. But you can still get your tickets ahead of time and beat the line. So yeah, go check out wcre.ca. Awesome. Well, it's awesome to have you on, Phil. It's always good to
Awesome to be here.
chat with you.
I love coming on, guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no worries. Been meaning to have you on for a while since we had Smitty on a while ago, and then we came on your guys' podcast, and
Yeah.
yeah,
It's good times, man. It's good times.
It's funny. I felt like you already were on, but I guess he wasn't.
yeah, right. It feels like that.
Backwards. Yeah.
I guess it's because we did chat. Yeah.
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 It's a little deja vu. My head's on the wrong side of the screen, I think, but it's cool.
We can move you over if you
Oh,
want.
no, don't do that. That'll be really weird. Then I'll start seeing a black cat cross my path, and all of a sudden everyone's
yeah.
going to bust out black sunglasses. And ugh.
Yeah, awesome. Well, so how's it going, Phil? What do you anything new going on? You haven't had a Snakes and Stogies in a couple weeks.
We haven't. So I was out for business, and then I was under the weather, and then I went to annual convention, and you know they always call it the crud when you come back from the annual work convention. Oh, you got the crud, and I didn't get the crud this year. I didn't. I just got a sinus cold, but it was just enough where I was like, okay, I can't smoke a cigar. I sound like crap. This is an audio show. Let's just punt to the next week. And then Smitty got sick. So then we did another week. So I feel like I haven't been on camera or on microphone in like a month, and it's crazy. So thank you for getting me back on the podium, as they say. But other than that, man, cooling animals. This year, Florida got, well, let me rephrase that. My southern portion of Florida got extra chilly. I won't say cold because, I mean, you guys live in Canada for Christ's sake, but it got extra chilly. So I took it upon myself to just drop every snake down, the whole room, babies and all. And I got it in the 50, I got like 55 to 60 for maybe 10 days total over the course of a month. And there were spikes in between into like the 60s and 70s. I tried the swamp cooler thing. Horrible. All it did was raise my humidity. My dehumidifier is just dying. I think it gave a smoker's cough earlier. And I'm warmed everybody back up, and because it was like 80 today, and everyone got fed this past week. Like I think Wednesday or Thursday, I fed everybody, every single animal. Which I don't have that many animals. Okay, I've got not that many compared to you guys and some of our other friends, but when you feed every single animal at once, holy crap. Then you really get a feel for like A, the food bill, B, how many mouths you are feeding. You know what I mean? And then I reminded myself why I do certain animals every other week and so on and so forth. So, but it's good, man. I'm ready. I feel like water pythons have been together for like 3 months now through the cold and stuff. They got fed. Pyros got cold. Subocs got cold. Rincals got cold. I lost a baby copperhead, and one of my favorite snakes in the collection, man. Like a crazy specimen. I lost it, and I don't
Was
know
that
if
the
it.
Pictogaster?
Yeah, it's
From that
Pictogaster.
2.2 you had?
Yeah, oh yeah, and so no, this one was an unknown. I never sexed it. I've got 2 pair left of adults, and then I had this one random baby. It's probably 2 years old now, and well, it passed away, and I think I maybe kept it too dry, and it just got dehydrated, and I lost it, which sucks. And it's never easy, but like it's even harder when it's one of those project animals you had for a long time, and you were raising up for one reason or another, and it sucks. But it's part of what we do, peaks and valleys, right? So I don't know. All in all, I thought it was a good half-ass Florida winter, but I think I got enough chilliness in the room to hopefully get some production this year, and we'll see what happens. Sorry, I feel like I was a little long-winded, boys.
I know, that's all good.
I'd
Yeah,
say we got 2 hours, so you're good.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, I've just experienced like actual winter.
Yeah.
And my animals just came out from brumation.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like I think about that too, is because my whole adult life I've been in this quasi-tropical climate. I mean, 26 parallel for Christ's sake. But I can't imagine having to. This is going to sound cocky. I'm sorry, but worry about my animals freezing. And in the past, on Snakes and Stogies, Smitty and I have talked about like you guys that in northern areas that do get a legitimate winter, and the preparations that you guys do for said winter in the event of blackouts or blizzards or, freak power outages, whatever. And I commend you guys seriously, because you guys do 10 times more worrying and work than I ever do. And I think it's super cool that you guys live in the climates that you live in and have the ability to keep producing awesome animals.
So I think there's something that, number one, basements are amazing. And cold weather is amazing because it really makes breeding simple. It makes cooling down animals really simple.
Oh yeah.
Second thing, it depends on the type of house you have, right? If you have a house that has all your city electrical are all underground, like my neighborhood, everything's underground. So it doesn't matter if there's an ice storm, doesn't matter if there's anything. There's no trees falling on posts and losing electricity, right? So depending on where you live, there are like options where like I literally have not lost power once this entire winter.
Knock on
Okay.
wood, that's
That being
awesome.
said, last year I lost it for 24 hours. That was a bit of an issue. And 4 years ago I lost it for 2.5 days. So it does happen, but you kind of manage it. In my opinion, I think it's easier to breed snakes with real winters than no real winters.
Oh,
But
for
that's
sure.
that's me.
Yeah.
And yeah, and this year, I don't know about you, Mike, but I feel like our winter has been especially cold this year. Like it's been about a week that it's warmed up, but for the past month, it's been like -30 to -20, always in those Celsius. So like
Yeah.
it's been a truly bad like end of like January to the start of February. It's been like impressively like cold. We've had maybe it's just me, but we've had a pretty shitty winter and a lot of freaking snow. Like
Yeah.
insane amount of snow. I don't remember the last time like we've had this much. So like when I walk outside, the snow is higher than me on the snowbanks.
Wow.
So it's been just one of those years. But I don't know. I honestly don't think I would know how to breed like in Florida or wherever where things don't naturally cool. I'd be like, what do I do? How does it cool down? How do the animals know? Because
Yeah.
everything cools down here so easily.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
tough, man.
it was a lot different for. So if Vancouver, it's like we didn't get snow. I think they got like maybe an inch last week. That's like all the snow they got all winter. It's been like, I don't know. Like you get some freezing, but like for the most part, it's like, I don't know, 0 to 10 degrees Celsius with rain is basically the winter. But I was able to keep the animals in the garage, and the garage was able to sit 47 to like 55 all winter. So I brumated everybody, warmed them up 2 weeks before I drove out here. It was nice. It was in the pluses and nice and sunny out when I got here,
And
and
the
then
pluses.
Tuesday it dropped. It went from like +6 to like -15, and
Oh,
started snowing. And it's been like -24 overnight the last like 5 days. It's gonna warm up this week, but like it's definitely a change having to keep the heater on in the snake room at night. Although at
yeah.
least I have a basement that I'll eventually move everything down in and actually build a proper snake room down there how I want it. But for
Excellent.
now they're on the main floor, which might be a different issue in the summer when it gets like 90 degrees for like a week straight here, because southern Alberta can be like that, and like 20% humidity.
Whew.
I
So
think
a
it's
bit
because
of a change from what I'm used to dealing with.
I'd say Vancouver is near the ocean, right? So you've got very little accumulation. I
Yeah.
think where you are, you're going to get a shit ton. Like I just Googled the winter 2025 to 2026. Do you know what our accumulation is so far?
A lot.
193 centimeters, so 2 meters. A meter is 3.3 feet, so 7 foot of snow we've had so far this
Wow.
winter. Like that's a shit ton.
Yeah. That's
It's,
wild.
Yeah, it's
uh,
didn't snow too much. Like there's a couple inch. There's like 3 inches of snow. It's just
Uh,
more
It's also
windy and
it's
cold.
also crazy that a lot of people, especially in the South where I am, like people don't realize it's got to melt, and that's still water, and that's 7 feet. That's 2 meters plus of freaking water. Now, granted, it's over several weeks, right, months, whatever, but still, that's crazy. Wild, man. You guys are
Yeah, here it kind
troopers.
of like, I think it's gonna warm up to like, I don't know, 60 degrees this week for a couple days during the day, but then drop back down to freezing at night. So like stuff's gonna melt, which helps keep the snow level. Yeah, you can just see the dead grass here because it's the prairies, right? It's not too bad, but it's still just the wind is what really gets you cold and
Yeah,
dries it out a bit.
and all that fresh black ice.
Yeah, yeah, it's different driving. You have to drive a little slower.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
any
I'm a 5 minute walk away from scorpion hunting for the northern I think boreal scorpions or just northern scorpions that we got here.
that's
So I
cool.
can that'll be cool. The black light in the summer when it's nice hot and cools down a little bit at night. So that'll be
That'll be
cool.
real. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Mike, anything new with you? How's the whole house going? You're moved in now for 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, well, like a full week now.
There you go.
Week and a little bit. Yeah, no,
And the
everything's
snake room,
good.
how does it
Everything
look?
just good. Everything's had their second meals kind of thing since I got here. Well, not everything. Some of the stuff's gonna be every 2 to 3 weeks feeding, but just fed all the little stuff again. Newts have been kind of added the water level now up to the as high as I'm gonna go with them. So hopefully I'll beef them up over the next month or so until they start laying eggs. Hopefully that'll be cool. Some nice yellow spotted newts. Uh, Other than that, not too much. getting everything set up how I want to and organized and everything. So try not to get any new projects for the time being.
One of my favorite things about setting up a new snake room or new reptile room is decor. So, did you have any artwork or shelving or any aesthetics that you are going to expand on or change or upgrade?
There's definitely was it my friend gave me some herping pictures that we took. So there's like a rubber boa and some I think a northern Pacific rattlesnake up.
That's cool, man.
And then I have my old NPR calendars, so I'll just like flip it to whatever I want to see kind of thing, right? So
That's
I'll
cool,
do
man.
that. I think I have Nipper's breadlie on one of them. Then I have like that nice Walma Python picture as well. I think that was Chris Applin actually. Now that I think of it,
That's cool,
that
man.
was from a while ago. That's from those calendars are now like what 4 or 5 years old.
Oh yeah.
I only got them for a couple years, and then yeah, it was just like that stuff. I think I'm gonna probably dig up a couple other pictures to throw up, and maybe some band posters or something just for fun, just to keep it interesting.
Yeah, you got it, man.
Yeah. Oh, and
That's
I got
cool.
my library set up right below my TV. So when people
Excellent.
come in and sit on the couch, it's like, oh yeah, here's a book on this. So I got all the books there so that they don't just get hidden in a bedroom and forgotten about. So they're actually there to be used when people come over, kind of thing, which would be cool.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good
What
stuff,
about
man.
you? What about you, Dominic? Anything new over the last couple weeks?
Oh, let's see. Still in the process of packing because I'm moving in a few weeks. I think mid-March is when I'm moving. I finished officially raising all my temps back up in my rooms, and about 5 days ago, I did my first feeding of the year. I fed every single snake in my room, which had been quite a while. But I mean, I fed like all the adults, like little hopper rats and like tiny little things because they haven't eaten since the end of October, right? So I fed everything. A lot ate. Then I repaired everything about 3 days later and had a couple of locks. Stupid roughies still aren't locking, but I had, let me see if I can do this. I had my one of my favorite pairings finally go. So let me see if I can see if I even know how to do this. I don't even know how. Okay, I'm gonna do the share the entire screen, but I'm gonna go get the other picture. Let's see if that works. Can you guys see that? No, maybe.
Nah.
No, no luck. All right. Well, if it pops
Mike's
up, you
muted.
let me know.
It says Dom's browser needs screen sharing permission,
Oh,
but
sweet. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
click screen recording, allow browser to share your. Oh wait,
I'm
I
not.
might be able
I was gonna
to.
say you haven't given me the right to
No,
share my screen yet.
this
Anyway,
is.
so while
I wish
Mike
it just
figures
gave
that
me
out,
the
we'll see
option.
if he can manage to make my screen share. I've had two ovulations this week. Pretty happy about it. My coastal female has finally is ovulating actually right now. She's on her side and gigantic.
excellent.
Um, I'm expecting pygmy eggs in about 10 days, and I've had this crazy idea, and I think I'm going to do it. And people might laugh or might be anyway something I always told myself I would do. I've decided I think I'm going to maternally incubate my pygmy python eggs.
Yeah.
So I've never done it before. I just moved them into a tiny little like rack. So put full moss in the entire thing, and I put her in there. So I will see if I'm crazy. And my reasoning behind it is that I think it'll be easier to move a female on eggs than to move eggs in an incubator. So I might be wrong, but that's my reasoning behind it. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm giving it a shot.
Yeah.
If in a few weeks I come back bitching about my choices, I'll let you know.
I don't know, man. I think a I fully support you doing the MI with them. That's super cool, man. Especially since you're gonna document the whole thing. I just know it. And secondly, I think you are right in terms of you can leave mom in her nest box for crying out loud and put that inside of another Tupperware and just drive across town, you know. And I feel like that's way safer than, you know, whatever incubator, whether it be a Hovabator or a refrigerator type or whatever. I think you're on the right path, man.
I don't know if you can see it. It's a full Coke machine. It's
Oh, yeah,
6
for
feet
sure.
tall, so it doesn't
Yeah.
move easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that'll be cool. I wonder, like, I'm not sure if I've heard of anybody moving an animal that's on eggs to a new location, kind of thing.
Well,
So
haven't
that
they
should
done
be
it?
interesting.
Those Aussie Snake Coast guys, don't they
Oh
find
yeah.
wild Brisbanes all the time and like mom on eggs? But do they just take the eggs and incubate them, or do
Well,
they move
I,
mom?
I
I
feel like
remember,
Eric just talked about it
Did he?
yeah, there was a
on.
post about it.
Yeah, they like moved the female like multiple times, and then they found out she kept coming back like and like multiple kilometers
Exactly.
away, came back and sat back down on the eggs, kind of thing.
Oh wow.
Until they found
Yeah.
out that she had eggs and then moved her with the eggs, and then
Ah.
the issue was resolved.
Wow, that's crazy. That's awesome.
So I assume it'll go well. And it's going to sound really bad, but I've produced so many clutches of pygmy pythons that I'm willing to take the chance on MI. And I know it sounds terrible to say, but when I incubate shit in my incubator, it goes well. Like I on average get about 95% hatch rate.
Sure.
So with all my eggs, so like I know it's going to go well. So it to me it's a risk doing MI. So I've decided that you know what, if I lose a clutch of pygmy pythons, so be it. I'm okay with it. So it's the one I've decided I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see. Again,
And you-
I
Watch
think.
and
these
you-
ones.
You've done MI on carpets before, right?
Oh fuck no. I'm
Oh
way
no,
too
never.
scared. I'm a pussy, man. I'm a wuss. I don't know. Call me every name. I'm gonna call myself every name in the game. It scares the living shit out of me, and which is ridiculous. But I have literally never ever done it. Every time I think I'm gonna do it, I'm just no. I can do this myself. Like it's a control thing. Like I know I can do it. I know I'm gonna do well, and I just my reasoning is take the female off the eggs. She can start eating right away. Everything is good for her. Everything is good for the eggs. So why do maternal? Like I don't have a positive like real reason. And I get that everybody says that the babies hatch out bigger. I think that's bullshit. I don't think it's true. I think if you incubate your eggs at a lower temperature, the eggs incubate a longer amount of time and they tend to be larger that way. I think that has more truth to it. And I think maternal incubation is not as how to put it, like steady. Like it's not a perfect
No, it's
temperature. It probably
consistent.
goes exactly consistent. Thank you. So my guess is that's why it takes a little bit longer, and the babies tend to sometimes be bigger.
I thought sometimes it took a lot shorter. Like I thought there's some. I feel like there's been some that were like instead of 60 days, they took like 48 or 49 or 50 days, kind of thing. Like they took like a week less. Is almost what it. But I could be wrong. I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't. I remember that kind of from a year or two ago, kind of thing.
I've heard Lucas talk about it that he had done a couple of. You remember how he split clutches? He had clutches of Bredleys and or Bredlies or whatever, and he cut the clutch in half, stole half from mom, let mom incubate and all that, and they all came out the same thing and hatched around the same time. So
Wow.
again, it's not on a lot. I don't know if it's true one way or the other. I decided I'm going to try it again. I haven't done it yet. We'll talk in 2 weeks, and if my eggs are in the incubator, you guys can slap me silly because I'll probably have lied. But right now, my goal is to try it. Every
All right.
time I've said I would, I haven't done it. So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I
Yeah.
I've never bred pythons on before on purpose. I'll say I think there was maybe an accident here and there over the years, but not like legitimately cooled and I've never done it. So these fuscus are going to be this will be my third attempt, and I think the first time they were too small, and second time I just did everything wrong. But third time's a charm. But the room is going to be hot enough ambiently, as I say that incorrectly, that if mom, I was going to let her MIM, but I'm going to have everything ready just in case she's like, I don't want these. And I can take them and just bookshelf them in the venomous room, and they will be, you know. And if I find that the temperature is not where I want it to be, I'll go buy a Hovabator or something. You know?
What's the temperature ambient? 84, 85?
Yeah, it'll be, in theory, if she does lay at the appropriate time from May through September, it's going to be 83, 84, dare I say 85 during the day, and then like 73 at night. But at the same time, they in the wild it gets cold, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
but see, oh man, you're taking a huge risk.
You think?
I'm gonna say it because 73 at night is freaking cold. Okay, you got to think about it. They can warm up their body. They can warm up the eggs to a certain extent. Can they warm it up from 73 to 88? I don't think so. I might be wrong, but to me, that's a gigantic jump. If your room was 82, 83, they can definitely do it. 73, like I would
It
provide
may
at
not get
least.
that
Yeah, I don't
cold.
think that's
It may
too
get
low.
74, maybe 70, maybe 75 on average, but yeah, the lowest will go is like 73.
Do you have an extra hotspot or do you have heat in that cage?
In their case, no. No.
It'll be cool. I want to see what happens. That'll be interesting.
Ah,
I don't think that's too cold though. Like I think in the
I think it's
wild
too
they would
cold. I think it's
possibly
too
get
cold.
like it could easily get like because they're not necessarily laying eggs in the middle of summer, right? Like
They're not,
they're
but
gonna
a
lay it in
python,
spring when it could still possibly drop down a little
you'll
cooler
you'll
occasionally,
never
right?
you won't find a wild python at 72 laying on eggs. It'll be in a very like it'll be in a compost heat. It'll be in an area that is all protected by the wind, by the environment. It'll be an environment that doesn't cool down that much. If it cools down from their 86, 88 down a little bit, maybe down to like the high 70s, 73 to me feels cold. To have
Okay.
a python in eggs like, and again, I honestly I want you to try it. I want to see if it works.
Well, I'm
And
hoping she just
eggs
hangs on to them. That's what I'm
and
hoping.
chances are the eggs are going to be fine because python eggs are crazy resilient and can go down to ridiculously cold temperatures. Like you hear Owen talk about the fact that he never turned on his incubator, and it took like almost twice as long to incubate python eggs because it was at like 70, what, 75 or something. So if you look at that, technically, yes, they won't die from the low temps, but it's cold. That's all I'm going to say. It's
Well,
low.
I
Like
figure we'll play it by ear, and obviously I talk a big game now. They haven't locked up in fucking how many seasons now, but uh, I'm hoping that she just hangs on to them. I'm probably going to have to pick up. I don't have an incubator. I'm gonna have to pick up an incubator because of the other species I'm pairing in the next couple months. So I will probably have one by the time they do something. In theory, I don't know, but it's definitely not going to be like yours because I don't have the space for that, or the animals, I should say.
So if I can give you a suggestion, if you don't pick
Always.
up an incubator, how about just putting one radiant heat panel or one under heat
Yeah,
pad and set it to 80,
yeah, and like
right?
I've got extra racks that are set. Like I've got
Like
gecko racks
that's
that are set to 83. You know, so
yeah,
like
just
yeah,
the basic minimum. Right? That's my opinion. I might be wrong, but I wouldn't do it. I can tell you that. Like
okay,
I if I'm going to do maternal incubation, I'm putting it in a flat like minimum. It's going to be 86 the entire time, and I'm going to let her choose the temperature from there. That would be my goal. I'll remove night temps and daytime. I'm going to make it as stable as can be and let the mother kind of pick from there.
yeah, and I agree fully, and hopefully she stays on them. And I see Lisa's in the chat. What's up, Lisa? Love Lisa. She says that Shine said that if it's too cold, they abandon the eggs. So that's something I didn't think about either.
Yeah, I would
But
like to thank Lisa for being on my side. I appreciate it, Lisa, and I agree.
I'm
Uh,
not
so
not on your side.
so
I'm learning. This is great.
Fuscus is water python, right?
Yeah,
Did I get it right? Yeah. So
yeah.
when your water python leaves your eggs, just remember Lisa and Dom were right.
That's it.
Well,
1000%.
didn't Gavin didn't they find out that water pythons leave their eggs already before they hatch, anyways?
Don't they do it in the
Oh,
last
really?
week or so though?
Yeah, like the
Like
last
near
week, like the
the
last couple weeks,
end
they
of it.
just ditched them, anyways. I think. So if
I
you make
wonder
it
if
to like day 50 or 60 and they leave them, then you're probably fine.
my guess is when they're at the point where the mother knows that they're gonna hatch, like where they've basically done everything they need, is that on an evolutionary basis, it might be to their advantage to leave, go start replenishing their, their fat storage, et cetera, if the eggs are going to make it anyway. To me, like, again, we're in captivity. That doesn't apply though. It's either the eggs are done or not. Because I don't know. But again, if they can tolerate lower temps, then they probably would be fine. But I just know I wouldn't go through that kind of stress.
No, I feel you. I feel you. I'm just looking at my Govee now from last May through August, and it only got below 74 three times, and it peaked to above 90 twice. So, and those cold drops, it's 10 to 12 degrees each night, every night. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm
that's
full of
not
crap.
too
Maybe
much.
maybe I'm going to respectfully pull a dom, panic, and throw him in an incubator, which is probably what's gonna
That better
happen.
not become an expression, pull a dom,
Sorry.
which means
Take it off.
the
Take mom
definition
away. Yeah.
to be scared shitless and put eggs in incubator. That is called to pull a dom.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to coin that phrase.
I like it, but if
Just
if I become a meme, I'm not going to be happy.
I can't guarantee that. Feel free to edit this out.
We
Uh,
still have to
We're
make
live.
Burking the Clutch meme though.
what is it?
Yeah,
Burking the clutch. That's
Yeah.
good.
you've never heard of burking the clutch?
No, I missed that one.
Okay, so burking the clutch means holding back everything.
Mm.
Because Eric Burke has been known to just not sell shit and just keep everything. He
Oh,
produces a
yeah,
clutch, keeps back all his IHs, produces more, keeps back all, keeps back all.
yeah.
So
I part of me is happy that I'm really focusing on Subox this year, but part of me is happy that Subox are the Christmas snake, because if I had babies ready for Daytona, which is in August, I would not sell them. I'm just going to keep all of them. I'm going to have the Suboculars army.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, with my sub box, I kept a pair because it was like 1.3, so then I'm sending down two
hmm
to you guys, you and Connor, kind of thing.
sweet.
So yeah, that should be a cool, and hopefully I get more this year. So that'd be awesome.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and honestly, Dom, I hope that the pygmy goes perfect and you literally just pick up the whole box and go, and she's cool and chills, and I hope it goes the gauntlet. And if it doesn't, oh well, there's always next year.
yep, I hope it goes well too. And again, if it doesn't go, I tried it, and I'll
Yeah.
be able to say I finally tried it. Considering that I've been breeding snakes since the late '90s, it is crazy that I have not done maternal incubation before. And I'll be honest, I wasn't even going to do it this year until I was speaking to actually Michael Islam there, and I hate saying his name on the podcast because his head inflates every single time you say his name. But yeah, he was telling me, he's like, "Why don't you just do it?" And I'm like, I guess I could, but like, to me, it's just like I hear people doing it. I'm like, no, that's other people do that shit.
I don't know if
They,
I'm not sure if Mickey's ever done it though. He probably
yeah,
has.
yeah, he probably has.
Actually, yeah, I know he did it with Stimmies when he had
So
Stimsons.
there's two things that other people do that I don't do. I'll never do like a full bioactive enclosure, and I will never do MI. Those are like the two parts of the hobby that are just not for me. I don't need to set up a gigantic enclosure with my little bugs and everything and the poop being eaten and the whole circle of life inside my tank. Okay, I don't need that. And if I did that, like, what's the point? I've got another 50 cages that I'm not going to do that. It just doesn't make any sense when you have too many animals. And maternal incubation, I've always seen the same way. It's really cool. And I love, like, if I'm doing it, I'll be honest, I'm doing it for one reason. I want to get a picture of mom on eggs with little heads popping out. It's the only reason you're
Yep.
doing it. You're doing
Yep.
it for
Yep.
that
Yep.
one picture, right?
That's it.
And I'll push it even further. I'll tell you what picture I want. I want the clutch of eggs in my hand with mom on it with little heads coming out with my fingers around them.
It's
Because
the ultimate hand picture. Like all these guys that catch snakes in the wild, they hold the snake in the hand. What do they call it? Hand shot or hand snap or something, whatever the slang is. That's the ultimate.
Yeah. But with pygmy pythons, you can do it, right? Like I have
Yeah.
pictures of the clutch and mom fitting in one of my hands, right? And it's a cool picture. Now imagine those eggs hatching with little baby heads coming out of it in a hand.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's So if I'm doing it for that one picture. That's it. Okay.
Well,
Then
who was it that I don't know if it was in the Barker book, but there's a famous picture of one of the first people to breed bloods in captivity, and they've got a Rubbermaid tub, and they're holding the tub like this, and they're like with like a mom on eggs, and there's like babies coming out of the eggs. I can't remember who that was. Someone's gonna kill me for not remembering, but that's the big version of what you want to do, and I think it's fantastic.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, super cool.
oh, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll
So,
pull
Phil.
a Dom.
So Phil, what are you? Maybe let's pivot to kind of like what are you keeping right now? Because obviously you say your collection's not too big, and we've known over the
Yeah.
years kind of stuff that you've worked with, from ring calls to stilettos to
Yeah,
rock
yeah.
rattlesnakes to Gila
So,
monsters
like
and
stuff
subocs.
like project stuff or just pets? Because like I sad to say, like I got a lot of pets, and it's crazy. Some of my pets, like I wasn't like I knew they were older, but somebody was like, "Oh man, I got my first." You know what it was? I was at Tampa Carpet Fest with those wild animals. God bless
Yeah,
them.
how was that? Yeah,
That was
how did that
fantastic. It
go?
was a great time, man. It was a great time. It was a legit carpet fest. Everyone there was just good people who love Morelia and have other stuff. Like it was a
Oh yeah.
solid event. Clay is a stand-up fella, and him and Emily put on a hell of a shindig. It really was. It was just a great time. But we were talking about like, oh, when was your first carpet? And I was going back. I was like, man, my first carpet was Valentine's Day 2004. And I don't know if I've told the story before. Forgive me if I have. Have I, Mike? Do you remember the
Well,
story?
I've just watched probably every Snakes and Stogies, but
Oh
Dom
God.
obviously hasn't, so you
Okay.
should
Well,
still share it.
so basically, my first girlfriend I had at the time was back then, and her and I got in this big blowout fight on Valentine's Day, and I was like, screw this, I'm going to.
I just got to cut you off. Your
Yeah.
first girlfriend was a carpet python?
No, no. Yeah, maybe she doesn't listen to this stuff, so who cares? But her and I got a fight. I went to Underground Reptiles retail store, and I was like, I'm gonna buy myself a snake. And I was like, oh man, F1 Diamond Jungle. And I was like, "Pfft, this is cool as hell. Sold American. And I named it Valentino. Valentino is 7+ foot long, and now he lives at my buddy Chris's house down the street. It's still alive. And like started going down the Rolodex of like snakes I still have. So like I have an Ashes Cobra that's probably going on 16, 17 years old. And then I've got a Nubian Cobra that's got to be well over 21 years old because I got it at like 2.5 foot. And that's got to be at least a year or two old at that point. And that was back in 2005 or 2006, maybe. So like I've got some pet stuff. I've got Elapsoida sundavali, Sundaval's garter snake, African garter snake. I've got one girl because there's no other boys in the country. If someone's listening to this in the United States and you have a male Sundavali and you'd like to part with it, let me know. But in terms of like stuff I'm gonna breed this year, Arizona Mountain Kings, so Pyro Milana. I'm gonna do Wild Rose Pass subox, Transpangos rat snakes. I'm gonna do Silver subox. I think my boy is old enough; he's big enough now. And we're pulling up pictures. Oh, pulling up pictures. Look at this. Oh, Buck Rogers.
Just so Dom knows for reference.
Okay, cool, cool.
Just so we're clear, I would pull up pictures, but I'm not authorized to do so.
Great, that's great. Okay, so Mike. See the top left, that deep banded one top left.
Yeah.
Click that. So that is like the textbook. That's like the coolest of cool. That's every African snake guy's pseudo dream. Mine does not look like that. Mine is hideously grotesque compared to that. So, but that's a very, very pretty, amazing textbook looking specimen.
Oh, yeah.
And they are elapids. They're in the cobra family. They're fossorial, so they spend most of their time in leaf litter and under dirt and muck and stuff. Talking about African garter snakes, excuse me. But just going back to like stuff I'm going to pair this season is going to be Pyros, Subox. Uh, I was going to do Lee Abbott line Okatee corns, but I was talking with Chris Paintshab and I sent him some pictures and I showed Smitty some pictures and basically I'm going to wait till next year. I think I'm just going to feed the crap out of both of them because they're old enough and they're big enough, but I feel like they just could be a little bit bigger, if that makes sense. So, and everyone, their mother breeds corn.
How old and big are they?
The girl is 4. I think the boy is 3. And I mean, I'll just send you a picture. I just took a picture of the male. They're literally the same exact size and everything, which is crazy because, like I said, the girl is a year older. I got the girl first, and then the following Daytona, I got the male. Both of them directly from Lee. Let me send you a picture here. So this is obviously it's eating a rat pup for scale. That's my hand for scale. So I sent it to Facebook, Mike.
Sweet. I'll email it to my-
So I was gonna do them, but I think I'm gonna hold off on them this year. I'm obviously the Queensland water pythons, and then I'm gonna try Rinkals again. I think I got my temps right. I don't think I cooled them for long enough or for as cold enough, but they're both healthy and good. I was hoping to do KwaZulu-Natal puff adders this year, but that's not going to happen. The male's just too small. I literally took the tub out and I put him in like a deli cup and held him up to his proposed girlfriend, and she's like 5 times the size of him. So I was like, all right, we gotta wait a little bit on this one because I'm not worried about her like eating him or anything. I'm just worried about her being stressed out that she's got this angry noodle trying to mate with her. So I feel like I'm just going to leave them be this year. And then Trans-Pecos Copperheads. I'm going to try to do them again because they got good and cold. And I've got that crazy looking Amel hypo super duper blonde light color looking weird one that I'm going to hopefully get something out of. So, and that's it for pairing stuff. I've still got a pet Gila monster. I've got Cerastes that I'm raising up, pygmy rattlers, rock rattlesnakes of varying species and locality that I'm raising up. So, yeah, there you go, man.
Yeah, I do like the Pictogasts are always cool.
Yeah,
It was cool hearing the
hands down my favorite.
stories.
Oh yeah,
Like that. Like that's just freaking.
oh yeah,
that's a red.
That's insane.
Copperhead.
Insane, man. That's insane. I'm gonna send you a couple other pics on Messenger just so if you want to share them or whatever. I gotta
Sounds good.
select more photos, favorites, because you know they're in there.
I
So
love the fact that you're talking while you're looking at pictures because you know this. You're on a podcast and you can't leave this like no sound while you're doing something.
oh
It's
yeah, nobody likes dead
hilarious.
air. Can't be having dead air.
It's like if you know how it is. So just by curiosity, when you breed like especially things like copperheads, like
Yeah.
I don't. Isn't there like they're a very cheap animal, right? They have a very low value. Am I wrong by saying that?
It depends on what it is. So like if it's an exceptionally good, yeah, that's the Lee Abbott male. If it's an exceptionally good, crazy looking southern or eastern copperhead, yeah, they may be $100, $150 because it's a really pretty one. But
But
these
overall, it's like a $50 snake, right?
not even at times because
Okay.
so many people get them in their backyards. But a Trans-Pecos that is a super light color, like what I'm trying to do, or that deep crimson red, like Michael just showed, those go for big money. I mean, some of those crazy red Pictogasters, those are hundreds, if not $1,000 snake. Because they're just that rare in the wild that no one's finding them. The ones that do, they try and replicate it in captivity, and they're not putting out 20 snake litter. They're doing 5 or 6 babies and that's it. And guys usually hold them back, or they're selective to whom they sell them to, or they give them to friends or trade them to friends or what have you. So
Yeah, because I just feel like when you breed venomous, like it's kind of like that extra level of, I don't know, vetting your buyers, right?
Oh, for
It
sure.
puts so much more things that it's going to sound bad to say, but is it worth it for a $50 animal? You know what I mean? Like
It's not when you're a small guy like me. If you're a big wholesaler, sure, knock yourself out. Or,
yeah, but then you're not vetting people, right? When you're wholesaling 40 to another wholesaler or a person like that. So at
yep.
that point, it makes it even more dangerous and not worth it. But for a guy like you, to me, if you're only breeding a few of them, is it worth breeding a $50 snake when you got to vet everybody for that? The amount of work you go through is not worth your $50 in the end, right? Wouldn't it be worth
Well,
more breeding more expensive animals when
and
it's
that's
coming to venomous?
absolutely in that regard, and I feel like that's a big deal for me as a just an enthusiast. I have come to terms with the fact that I will never recoup anything that I've ever put into reptiles. That I've been doing this long, and the small amount of things I've produced, the handful of stuff I've sold, I will never be able to recoup a dime of what I put into this. Other people like my good buddy Billy, he makes money selling some snakes on the side, and he also pays for the rodent bill for the year or what have you. I'm not that guy. I'll never be able to be that guy. So for me, I would rather produce a handful of really, really pretty copperheads and then, give a couple to friends like Gabe and Keller and guys who are going to appreciate them and enjoy them as a captive animal. And maybe they're going to breed them. Maybe they're just going to enjoy them. Who knows? But yeah, you'd be very correct in terms of quality over quantity in regards to breeding venomous for sale. The snake in these photos in the water bowl is this the same animal. That's that crazy girl that I'm hoping to get something out of. And then the one with the background, that's the one that passed away.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's
I love the. Sorry, go for it, Mike.
I just like that background and how you still got you got some nice slate in there to kind of match.
I took that photo,
color
man.
scheme.
I took that photo with the NPR boys on top of a mountain,
Oh, yeah.
looking for those. Yeah, I was talking to Jacob Bratz today. He's going to do some naturalistic stuff, and we're talking about backgrounds. And I sent him a couple landscapes that I took, and I'm really big on these backgrounds now, in terms of either I took the photo or a friend took the photo. So, that my big silver female suboc that's in that one black box cages vivarium that I did like pseudo bio. There's no bugs in it, but it looks good. Um, I took that picture on the side of the road with Rob Stone last year. My Gila monster enclosure. We didn't find any Gilas, but I got a really cool background picture. So worth the trip. One of my Pilbara knobtail geckos enclosures is a beautiful scenery of the Pilbara that Dr. Juliner took. So I'm really enjoying getting friends involved with their photography, and then some of my landscape shots that I'm just taking cell phone pictures. Nothing crazy, but it's cool to know that like I took it or Michael took it or Dom took it, and I get to keep that in my home, my little window into the ecosystem. So, it makes it a little more fun.
That's pretty cool. Actually, when I was looking at that picture, I'll be honest with you, I thought that was a picture taken into a tank because it looked like the rocks were perfectly placed, like if you would have it.
Oh no,
set
that
up in
was that's a
cage.
tank.
Oh, it is in a cage
is a
because I
cage,
feel
yeah.
like okay.
Yeah, that's a
I thought
cage,
it was
yeah.
taken in the
The
wild.
picture in the background is the picture
Yeah,
you
the
took.
background I took.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we didn't
I was
find any
gonna say.
copperheads. We looked for days and hiked for countless tens of miles. We hiked looking for copperheads and stuff. Find a single freaking one. But we got some great shots. So
Yeah, that was a. Oh yeah, because that trip it was just you and Bob, because Dustin and Brandon went
Yeah,
a little early.
They went a week early, man. Oh God, what a calamity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Brandon coming on next week. So
Oh
that's
hell
gonna be
yeah,
fun.
I love that
Oh,
kid.
yeah. We have to get Dustin on at some
Yeah,
point too.
the dynamic
Dustin's like
duo.
another jack of all trades kind of guy.
He is, man. And it's crazy how like the amount of animals he keeps, the diversity of species he keeps, and like I was just over Billy Hunt's house for Tampa Fest, and he pulls out this particular Asian or Australian dragon of sorts, and I was like, oh man, that's really cool. He goes, oh yeah, this is one I got from Dustin. I was like, what? So he was like, oh yeah, he keeps Australian dragons too. I was like, what are you, what, who is this child? What's going on here? So, oh man. And then of course, you say Bobby Pebble's name 3 times. He just texts me, hey man, what are you doing later? So he knows we're talking about him. I'm gonna send him a picture of our heads right now. So
Yeah, he was a
way,
fun guest to have on for sure.
When he listens later, he's gonna be like, what? All right.
Thanks for interfering in the podcast there, Bobby Pebble.
It's always welcome. It's like the holiday show where he tried to come on, and then for about 1 minute, his head was kind of stuck on the screen before he lagged out.
Nice,
Did he actually talk on that show or not?
I don't think so. I think he tried to log on, and then it just kind of like wherever he was didn't have.
He
a good
made his
connection.
appearance.
He made an appearance.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I wish that show wasn't recorded because I think I got pretty damn drunk on that show. That was bad. It was rough.
I'm sure there's some NPR
Oh yeah.
holiday shows that are worse than that.
And
Not worse, but
there's shows that weren't holiday shows that were worse than that. From many of us. So.
See, for me, the advantage is I pretty much always work on Monday morning, so which is I pretty much always get up 4 or 5 hours after I finish the show, so I can't drink. That's why I always have a coffee with me and not alcohol.
Yeah,
it's probably better because if we did it every Saturday night, man, I'd probably have a few drinks. It
I can imagine.
would be a very different show.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
So Phil, I'm going to ask you this by curiosity. So I'm not a venomous guy. I don't keep any venomous. That being said, I have worked with some venomous only because I worked in a reptile zoo a very long time ago, and I don't think I did it the right way. You know what? I was just told how to do certain things and only cared for, I would say, the easy venomous snakes, mangrove snakes, copperheads. Dealt with some rattlesnakes. I think that pretty much, well, I did do eastern diamondbacks and western diamondbacks and other little things like that. But all animals that, in my opinion, were very, well, they were easy to care for. Let's put it that way. Yeah. We had gaboon vipers and other things like that. I never went down that road and all that. So I'd love to know your opinion of if you could decide how the heck to train somebody to keep venomous snakes, how would you start it? What would you do? And I'm always curious because I don't think I did it the right way, but I did it through, I'm going to say, a zoo, because back then it wasn't even a real zoo. It is now. I'd love to know your input. Like, what would you do? What to you would be the best way to do it?
So I say a handful of friends and I, we used to have a venomous apprenticeship at Underground Reptiles retail shop in Guilford Beach, Florida. And I ran that class for over 10 years. And we would get people every other day. Hey man, what do I got to do to get a cobra? Or, oh dude, I want to buy a gaboon viper. I need that like tomorrow. And like, those are not the people that should have venomous. Those are not the people that wind up getting venomous. And luckily for us at the time, Florida's laws were strict, but they weren't anything like they are now. Now they're drastically horrible, but it was still strict, and it was good because it gave some structure, and only people that were genuinely committed to the discipline, or dare I say the lifestyle, were the ones that stuck around and really learned the right way. But we started off with having people watch. So we did it 2 nights a week for 3 or 4 hours a night. Sometimes like Monday, Wednesday, or like Tuesday, Thursday, something like that. And we told the new rookie recruit, whatever, hey, you know, for the first 4 weeks, you're just going to come and watch. And you're going to see how we do things and learn the ropes and interact with us and commiserate with us. And sometimes if the person was super enthusiastic, we'd give them some pseudo nerdy homework, like, hey man, go home and, you know, find me, 10 snakes from Arizona that are venomous that you want to learn about, or whatever. You know, we'd have fun with it. Right. And it was like a CE, for continuing education. It was fun. And then at that 4-week mark, we'd have them come inside the barrier, which we had like a fish tank stand barrier thing to cordon off so kids weren't running around in there, because it was an active pet shop. And then for say another 6 or 7 weeks, they would clean cages. They never touched the snake hook other than us showing them how to hold a hook, how to hold pilstroms and tongs and hemostats. And they learned those techniques, but they weren't putting tool to snake yet. So for 4 weeks they watched, 6 weeks they cleaned in the way that we showed them how to clean, how we open cages, how we dispose of things, how we just general procedures. So for a solid 10 weeks, if they were still there, now we start with small stuff. I was never of the mindset of, oh, do a copperhead because it's less toxic. No, it was do small stuff because small stuff is in a controlled environment. And you're going to learn how to handle everything to the best of our abilities, the best of your abilities. So it doesn't matter if it's a 6-inch cobra or a 6-inch rattlesnake, you're going to learn how to handle those types of animals in that size range so that it's way more controlled. We have a container inside of a container, inside of another container, inside of an enclosed area. So that way nothing's going to happen. Everything's at arm's farther than arm's distance. And we went about it that way. And as people progressed, some people took longer than others. But as people progressed, the animals got bigger and less cooperative to the point where now you're handling a 7 or 8 foot snouted cobra or 5 foot eastern diamondback and the different techniques to do that. We also would get, this is a long time ago before Underground had the farm that they have now, we would get the imports received to the store. So we would get a box with 15 king cobras in it. So we would grab a bunch of vision cages and each king cobra was in one bag. And now we're going over bagging procedures. And now you're going over, well, how do you handle a 7, 8, 10 foot snake that's venomous and not get hands on? It's almost impossible. So at no point were we free handling, but we refer to it as manual manipulation. It's using a hook, almost like how a shepherd uses a hook with his sheep. You're using it to direct and guide and lead the animal, but you're still hands on. So we would, as the student or the apprentice progressed in that mentorship and we're handling more difficult species or less tolerant individual specimens, as we'd say, the work got more and more and more. And at this time in the law, it was 1,000 hours of hands-on experience. So it took the average person about 2 years doing it our way. Now it's broken down into 4 different categories and it's 1,000 hours per category. So if you don't want to handle elapids and you only want to handle vipers and crotalids, well, that's fine. You can do 1,000 hours of crotalids, but the problem is that doesn't make you a better handler. It doesn't make you a better keeper because there's going to come a day when you want to handle those other things or you go to handle those other things and you're ill prepared because you never learned the proper techniques in which to do so. I'm not saying that everyone's bad or that they didn't learn the right way. I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, very anecdotal opinion, a person who is more well-rounded in a diversity of species and not bottlenecked into one type of animal is always going to be more safe on the whole in terms of venomous handling. Sorry, that was a very, very long-winded. Sorry.
It's a great answer. My only thing with handling a lot of different things is, what if you don't know the difference between what you can handle a certain way and what you can't, right? What if you don't know that you can tail this animal and use it with a hook because there's 0 chance of it climbing back up its own body, but this other species can, right? Like there's, to me, that's, sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. Please.
No, you're good.
We were lucky in this stance that myself, the guys that taught me, we all came from the wholesale field and we handled a lot of animals and we were taught by a lot of really good people that really knew animals in terms of diversity of collections. And over the years, we had a really great array of animals, array of specimens, individual specimens to work with. So, we may have one cobra that is a puppy dog and literally you could just reach in and pick it up, but we didn't. We treated it like it was going to rip your face off. And then we had another cobra that was going to rip your face off. So like, the individual student had the ability to work with 2 different animals that was the same exact size, drastically different temperament, and now we can train and learn on multiple different avenues of a similar species and not the same species. We always used to say that snakes have 5 things, right? And this is obviously a falsehood. This is slang term. Please don't take what I'm saying, listeners, as gospel. But let's pretend that snakes are only capable of 5 things, right? Well, you don't know if that animal at hand is going to do a 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, and a 3, a 1, a 5, and a 4. Like, you have no idea what the animal's going to do. But if you're trained for all 5, well, then it doesn't matter, because whatever the animal throws at you, you're ready for it. And if there's a 6 that we didn't know about and we just learned about it, oh shit, it's 6. Let's add it to the repertoire. Let's add it. And that was something that I helped develop, and other people, we did it collectively together. So even though I was teaching the class, I still learn stuff all the time, and we got species that I had never worked with. And I feel like that era has disappeared simply because of the lack of available species. Countries close and they're not imported. People stop producing, and therefore there's no market, or there's no available animals. And what happens is something that used to be extremely common and everyone knew how to work with has disappeared. And the person that is doing it now, no one taught them how to handle it because there wasn't any to handle. So you're comparing it to another species in the hopes that the manipulation is the same and the behavior is the same, and oftentimes it may not be. And that's just something that we, roll with the punches, as they say, and take the extra precautions.
Very nice. So last question in that kind of thing. Would you say that it's easier to teach somebody who has never kept a snake before to handle venomous snakes, or would you say it's easier to teach let's say me, I haven't touched a venomous snake now in 15 years.
So you're tough. You're tough because you did handle venomous snakes and you already have a good knowledge of what.
Been over 15 years ago, though.
I know, but you still it's not like riding a bike, but it is like okay, I need to have a 4-foot hook for this 4-foot rattlesnake because I can't go over there with a little 2-inch neonate hook. I'm gonna get bit. You know what I mean? Like, that you worked in Zoofield, right? I feel like someone who is already a herper or is already a reptile keeper, they have a better understanding of what you're teaching them than someone who's completely green and novice, because they know what a hook is. They know how the cage is open. They know the reptile world in terms of thermal gradients and water bowls, and they know that. The problem is that the rookie greenhorn has no bad habits because they have no habits at all. While as the keeper who's been keeping Morelia and colubrids for 10 or 15 years, they got a fudge load of bad habits that they don't know are bad habits. They don't realize it's bad. One of the biggest things is racks and drawers. How do you open a rack? Well, you take your 2 fingers or 1 finger and you slide the drawer open, right? If it's a V70 or whatever, you maybe use 2 hands and you pull it towards yourself. You'll never do that with venomous because you'll die. So, it's undoing those things, and it's okay, there's a rattlesnake in this V70 drawer, and we're going to extract that animal, put in a containment vessel, i.e. a giant Rubbermaid trash can. We're going to put this animal in the containment vessel. How are we going to open this drawer? And I ask the student that, and they go, well, I'm going to reach over and go, whoa, no, you're not. You're going to use a hook or 2 hooks or 2 drawer pullers or 1 drawer puller, and you're going to pull that drawer towards you at a 4-foot distance. And they're, why can't I just open it? Well, because if his head's right there, it's got heat sensing pits. It's going to lock onto you like Predator, and you're going to get fangs in you. And they go, oh, wow, I never realized that. I always use my hand. Yeah, well, not anymore. So now we got to break that habit of you using your hand for everything and start over.
Yeah. Just like babies, whenever I feed my babies or change their water bowl, I just stick my hand, grab the water bowl. If I get tagged, I just keep doing whatever. I don't even notice it and just keep doing, because I don't have time to look at where the baby is in the tub. Just doesn't matter. Empty it, clean it, put it back in. And, all those habits where eventually you just don't care, right? Like if a little worm the size of a pencil bites you, it doesn't matter. You just keep going, right? Yeah. So I could totally see that. My bad habits are very specific to the animals I keep, which I could see going back to it. Man, I would have a huge learning curve to do.
And that's the thing. It's like your habits. We say your bad habits. It's not that they're bad. They're not bad habits. They're the wrong habits for venomous. And I feel like a lot of keepers that have been keeping non-venomous for X amount of years, they think to themselves, oh man, I have bad habits. I don't know. It's not a bad habit. It's the wrong habit for venomous. And it can be unlearned, it can be augmented, whatever you want to call it, but it takes time and it takes someone being there with you to point out those inconsistencies. There was a kid that used to do venomous with me. His name was Rob, and he was a great venomous handler. He really was. But we used to say Rob had saggy elbows because when Rob would open a drawer or he would lift up a snake with the hook, his grip technique of the hook was perfect. His manipulation of the tool, of the instrument, was perfect. But when it came to actually extracting the animal, he had a habit of bringing his elbow down to the point where it wasn't perpendicular with his body. It was almost touching his side. It was almost parallel with his torso. And what that's doing is it's elevating the animal and causing the animal to either move forward or to fall onto him. And I would constantly stand there. And in the beginning, I would take my hand and I would just touch his elbow. I wouldn't hit him. I wouldn't smack him. I literally would just place my hand. And the minute he felt my hand on him, he knew, and he would raise his elbow up to be perpendicular with his body. And that way the snake is better balanced on the hooks and what have you. So like certain little manipulations like that, it helps to have another person watching you do it and point out your inconsistencies or what you're doing. I don't want to say what you're doing wrong, but for lack of a better synonym, what you're doing wrong. And that helps curb those wrong habits for venomous, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of people, they know how a snake hook works. They don't know how to use it right. And it goes way more than just scooping a snake up. So if I have a 2-foot carpet python and I have a 2-foot snake hook, I just scoop the carpet. It made in one of its loops. It's going to hang on, right? It's going to hang on. It may slide off, whatever. You scoop it up again, but Morelia is going to grab onto that hook and it's going to hang there, right? Corn snake may even do the same thing. Cobra's not going to do that. Cobra's just going to fall from the ground. It is not going to sit put. It's not. So now we need to find the balancing act of these animals, whether it be, by using my other hand and tailing the animal of appropriate size, or using 2 hooks, or using specific tools for the specific breed or species of animal. Whether it be a wider hook for more fat-bodied animals, a V hook, an L-shaped hook, and then how we're manipulating the animal on the ground, getting it airborne to move it to where we want to put it, and it stays put, or what we call riding the hook. And a lot of people, they don't learn that. No one's ever taught them that. And that's a huge part of it. And that goes back to the manual manipulation of the animal. Is I want that animal to not know that I'm lifting it up in the air and moving it. I want it to be like, oh, what's going on? Oh wow, I'm going up in the sky. Okay. All right. I don't want the animal to hood up. I don't want the animal to rattle. I don't want the animal to huff and puff. Yeah, it's cool to see a cobra hood up. Yeah, it's cool to hear the rattlesnake rattle, but that means the animal's in distress and then I'm not doing something right. And I need that animal to be chill as hell. We always say that venomous handling is not breakdancing, although it can be, and oftentimes it has to be, but it's a waltz. It's a ballet. It's smooth. It's melodic. It's very rounded and soft. It's not jerky and quick and fast, unless it has to be. Shout out Scott Eiper. He knows what I'm talking about. And I feel like that's where a lot of people go wrong, is that they feel like I got to snatch that animal out of that cage and move it. Oh no. We want to be chill and smooth, unless we have to snatch it out of the cage, if that makes any sense. So sorry for ranting about.
No,
Yeah, I remember Scott talking about the fact that like people who rely on, say, like shift boxes, well, they shouldn't have the venomous snake because they don't know how to do the waltz into the snatch and grab when needed. Possibly even snatch and grab with your hand if you have to do that in that whole
and
sequence.
And I'm with him, but not fully. Like, I'm sorry, there's plenty of species I know how to handle, but a shift box just makes it 10 times nicer and easier. But that's the difference. Is I not to sound cocky, I know how to handle it, and I'm not going to get an animal that I can't physically handle on my own and just say, oh, I'll get a shift box. Like, that's not a thing for me. It's not. So I share that sentiment with him.
I kind of see it
It's
as
a bit
like,
of risk mitigation as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't need to, then why put yourself in that
Yeah,
potential
yeah,
situation kind of thing, especially depending on the animal too,
yeah,
right?
even with a non-venomous snake, think of having just one snake, let's say 6 foot long, that's, let's say, your fuscus, a complete asshole.
yeah,
Okay. Are you, every single time you change the water bottle, are you going to completely take him out, put him in a bin, and then put him back? No, if he's on the right side of the cage and the left side of the cage is there and you can change the water bowl without bothering him, you're just going to change the water bowl. It doesn't mean you have to handle him and get
yeah.
better. You know how to do it. You're going to do it when he, I don't know, pisses all over the cage and the entire floor of the cage needs to be changed. Sure. But I feel like you don't, if you don't need to, I wouldn't, but you need to know how. So you need a certain amount of practice and do it when it is needed.
Yeah.
That's the way I kind of look at it. But
Yeah, of course, absolutely, and it's perfect if you got a pissed off carpet, or let's say you got some big, chunky coastal that just doesn't want to play today. You can take a tub lid and block its face, and then reach in and get the bowl. Like you can do that. You know, we've all done that. You can't do that with a 4 foot neotropical rattlesnake. It's not going to happen. It's going to bite you, and you're going to be jacked up. So what we would do in that scenario is use a set of pilstroms to remove the water bowl. And then you go, oh crap, that water bowl's ceramic. It's really heavy, especially with water in it. And now I just spilled water everywhere because it was big and heavy and I didn't have the arm strength to lift it up with those pilstroms. What does that mean? Get a smaller water bowl. So like things like that that people don't always think about.
what's
That
a set of pilstrums or whatever that word is you're using? Sorry, I
pilstroms,
don't,
yeah,
like
pilstroms.
hemostats,
No, no, they're
I'll pull it
those,
up.
you know those snake grabbers that you see from back in the day. It's like two
like
jaws.
the West. There was a brand like the red clamps at the end.
No, no. So the red ones, so that's Midwest tongs. The red ones are
Okay,
called
those
Gentle
ones. No.
Giants. Yeah, those are
Okay,
good.
no.
Those are good. Those are
I love those. That's what
designed.
I used to use all
Yeah,
the time. They were great.
those are designed to safely smush the snake so that you're not going to damage their ribs or their spine or anything. However, pilstroms were invented 1934, 43, something like that. They are very dangerous to the animal if you don't know how to use them properly.
Okay.
However, if you buy them from Midwest or you buy them from African Snakebite Institute in South Africa, Johan Moreira's company, they are measured out to be, I can't remember how many millimeters, but they're measured out so that it won't pinch the animal. They're designed specifically so that it won't break their spine or crack a rib or pinch their skin or pinch their muscles where you could use them. Ones that are made in Asia very cheap and imported very cheaply that you'll find at some of the reptile shows, excuse me, those are not to spec and they could very well damage the animal. We used to call them snake killing tongs because farmers back in the day, they bought them not to handle snakes in a good way, but to basically grab them by the head and snap their neck.
So how are you picking
Everyone,
up a bull with that?
what's that?
How are you picking up the bull with that?
So I have a set of those snake killer ones I bought at a reptile show 15 years ago for $20. And the hook on the front grabs onto the rim of the water dish and the bottom lip slides underneath it. And you're basically grabbing the whole bowl and taking it out. And that's something that we would teach people, right? But the problem is now you have a 6 pound rock at the end of a long tube, metal tube, and it's freaking heavy. You know what I mean? And some people, like myself included, it's too heavy. And what's going to happen is you're going to shake, and you're going to spill water, and it's going to get all over the tub, and it's going to get all over the enclosure, and it's spill on the floor, and or that now the snake's striking at you while you're trying to pull the water bowl. It's just this is bad news. So instead of doing that, we would get a smaller bowl or a lighter bowl or a plastic bowl. You know, some dog bowls from Petco, PetSmart, whatever, they work really, really well. And you can cut with a Dremel or a kitchen knife, cut a notch into it onto the rim. And that way you can stick a snake hook in it and lift it up with a snake hook. You know, or you can take a lighter and melt a small section of the rim of that dog bowl that's plastic, and now you can use extra long, 24-inch hemostats or 30-inch hemostats if you're brazen enough, and just pick the thing up with hemostats. So there's other techniques and tools of the trade. I have a YouTube channel on Venom Exchange Radio's YouTube called Venomous Etiquette Videos. There's only 2 of them, and they're very boring. They're not entertaining at all. But the last episode I made, which was, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, it broke down tools of the trade. So if anybody's listening to this and they want to see what Pilstroms are, they want to see hemostats and the different types, Venom Exchange Radio on YouTube, Venomous Etiquette Videos, it's on there. You can check it out. But yeah, there's a lot of technique to all of it. It's super zen.
Oh, I don't doubt it. So, again, I'm going to re-say it. I'm not a venomous keeper.
No, man,
I don't plan on ever being a venomous keeper. I love them. I think they're really cool. If I worked
You
in
just
the zoo
need to
again,
move like 10 minutes out of town. And
I
then
probably
you
could. Well, literally, like if I move 10 minutes out of town, like 10 minutes from here, I can keep anything and I don't need a permit. It's the Wild West. You can do whatever you want, which I think is wrong.
Yeah, I agree. It shouldn't be Wild West, but there should be some kind of vetting. The problem is, in the case of Florida, you give an inch, they take a mile. But sorry, you were saying.
No, I was gonna say there's none. But the true reason why I wouldn't keep venomous, and it's gonna sound pretty lazy, but I'm okay with it, is that right now if I have, let's say, a rack with 15 babies in it, I can clean that rack in like just the little tiny little babies. I don't know, 6 minutes max, probably. I can just imagine with let's put just little babies.
Doesn't matter, vipers, whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it would take to clean 20 babies? It wouldn't take you 6 minutes. It would take you what, an hour?
Longer.
Maybe more than that, an hour and a half, right? Because the amount of extra steps, the amount of extra time, and I'm like, I think my collection would need to go down from the 60, 70 animals down to less than 10, because or else it's too time consuming, and it just it would shift my whole way of doing it. I'd probably have at that point, I'd be doing MI and would have bioactive cages at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think, and you saying lazy, that's not lazy, man. That's smart. It's smart. It's not lazy. It's not that time is of the essence per se. It's you have an efficiency that you want to get done and you don't want to half-ass it. So it's better to do it than not do it than half-ass it. And I think that's commendable. I do. I don't think it's lazy. I had a really bad close call in 2007, and it was because I was rushing. I was working the venomous room at Strictly at the time, and in a bedroom-sized room at any given time, I had between 150 and 300 venomous snakes, and I worked 5 days a week, and that's just my job was cleaning and feeding, and bagging stuff up, boxing stuff up to ship it out, but you get in a rhythm and you're going, and then all of a sudden a mistake happens. And I realized, holy crap, I'm going too fast. I need to slow down. Now, back then I smoked and cigarettes, and everyone in that warehouse smoked. So I would smoke in the venomous room. Nobody cared, and I would do a rack of babies, have a cigarette. And then I'd do a rack of neonates, and I'd have a cigarette. And then I would bag up some stuff and have a cigarette. And that was like my break was breaking the monotony and the repetitiveness and the speed, because I needed to get it done. I wanted to get it done. I wanted to go home, whatever it was. So in our classes, we took smoke breaks, whether you smoked or not. If you didn't smoke, tough shit. You're coming outside, you're hanging out. We're going to commiserate. We're going to talk about the movie that just came out. We're going to talk about the show on Netflix we all just watched. And the smokers can smoke, and everyone else can just take that, 4 to 6 minute time out and then go back to the danger stuff. And I really feel like that's a very, very big deal with venomous. And there's a lot of venomous guys that say, oh, that's stupid. That's a waste of time. You know what? That's fine. To each their own, man. To me, I'd rather be safe. And that goes along the same ways. Exactly. Gillen's holding up his nub fingers that he's pretending that are there.
The venomous guy missing most of his tips of his finger.
And we laugh and joke about nubs, but it's not nubs, it's death. You know what I mean? Or major loss of, and I don't mean loss of life in terms of you're dead. I mean loss of life in terms of losing limbs, changing your life in drastic ways. But I digress. We would take these breaks to break up the monotony, and I do the same thing now in my own home. You know, if I'm feeding venomous, I take breaks. You know, I do 5 or 6 snakes, and then I'll go grab a glass of water. You know, because like I said, I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. But I'll take that break, or I'll call the missus and say, "Hey, what are you doing? You know, what's going on?" And take my dog out back, whatever. And yeah, it takes longer, but I'm doing it because I'm enjoying it. You know, I also will stop and take pictures of the animals and little Instagram reels, and that helps break up the speed in which I'm cleaning or the speed in which I'm feeding, and slow things down so things are more zen and not just let's get it over with. I really do feel like that's a huge deal, is taking breaks and being slow. Because remember, it's not a break dance unless it has to be. So
Yeah, for sure. That's I feel like that's almost, well, in terms of what Dom brought up, the time of cleaning way, I think almost venomous keepers in the U.S. Obviously not you, and then there's guys like Nipper and obviously like Kyle Vargas. Like his stuff is just
oh yeah,
insane. But like they're like, I almost see the venomous hobby as like you see it as the Hamburg show or North Carolina, where it's
and
like a bit more of a dirty, like those like
there
kind of
was
that like not so great part of the hobby, just in
yeah.
terms of welfare, honestly, not even in terms of just because they're venomous.
That was like that for a very long time, and it's still like that in some respects. But I feel like you're seeing more and more people at least trying to be responsible, in terms of not how do I phrase this? They're not doing bad things because they don't care. They're doing bad things because they don't know any better per se. But they're trying, and I get people that reach out to me from time to time like, "Hey man, I've been doing it like this, is that good?" And I'm like, "No, that is not good," or "Yeah, that's exactly how I do it, like rock and roll," you know what I mean? And I'm not the messiah of keeping venomous by any means. I've just been doing it a while. But I do like that people are reaching out to other people. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I message Kyle Vargas or even Keller, man. Keller has given me so much advice over the years, and it's all golden. You know, we break his stones on podcasts all the time because he's him and we love him. But it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. You're always going to learn more, and that's the beauty of it. You know, people like Nipper that has taught me so much, where it's gone from friendship to mentorship, and I really feel like everyone should have mentors, especially with venomous, whether they're your friend or family or complete fucking stranger. Sorry, I just F-bombed on your show. And I feel like people need to, especially now in the age of technology where everyone wants to text and ping and message, where people just do it, just reach out and say, "Hey, you don't know me. I see what you're doing. It looks awesome. Can you give me a tip on this?" And a lot of people in my age group, whether it be millennials or whatever, they get apprehensive. It's not necessarily gatekeeping, but it's more so, you know, I did the work. Why should I just give you the answers? You can work for it too. And so but the problem is they're not steering them in the direction of how to find that information. You know what I mean? So like I'm not going to flat out tell you something that I worked 10 years to perfect, but I'll show you where I started and how I got about it. You know what I mean? And if that means I'm gatekeeping, then oh well. But I am pleased to see. You guys hear those sirens in the background? No. Okay.
Barely.
Okay.
It almost just sounds like a little computer fan.
Okay. Good. Perfect. They're loud as hell on my end. My apologies. But I really do feel like people need to just reach out and talk and find that mentorship, even if it's not a real mentor, even if it's like a pseudo mentor. It's just a freaking tip. You know what I mean? Ask, share the knowledge, share the wealth, get out there, and it will make you a better keeper, will make you a better handler. I will also say this to anybody that has been field herping for a while and they handle venomous snakes in the wild. Regardless of technique, that doesn't mean you're going to do the same things in captivity. Because if you're on the side of the road with a Western Diamondback rattlesnake and all of a sudden it gets away from you, all right, oh well, it got away from me. It's in the bush. It's in its natural habitat. That's not the same as under your bed. That's not the same as in your snake room. That's not the same as it got loose. So a lot of field herpers who have handled venomous snakes in the field, especially in North America, they need to change their practices indoors, because it's not the same. And I'm guilty of it myself. I really am. And just recently, I had a friend who is a very knowledgeable keeper, and he took a venomous snake in an area where he is allowed to do so. He took a native venomous snake and he took it outside to photograph it outside. And I said, "Hey man, were you by yourself?" He was like, "Yeah, why?" I said, "Were you looking through a viewfinder?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I used my DSLR." I said, "Okay, cool. What happens if the snake bolted?" "Oh, crap. I didn't think of that." Yeah. So things like that of the buddy system is like a huge deal. And like if you're going to take a snake outside and you're legally allowed to do so, mind you, have a buddy. Even if they're not a snake person, just so they could point and say it went that way. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a really huge deal. At the same time, I always tell people that keep venomous, don't handle venomous if you're home by yourself. Like, I mean, if my girl is home or my parents are here, you know, whatever, like, do that. Don't handle venomous by yourself unless you absolutely have to for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Because God forbid something happens, I can still, in theory, yell or leave the room or lock the cage or put the snake away, and there's someone else here to help me in more ways than not. And I feel like that's another big thing that a lot of venomous keepers don't even think about. And then the other thing is communication with your spouse, with your partner, with your roommate, and say, "Hey, here's a bite protocol. This is what happens in the event of a bite or an envenomation. These are the steps. This is what's going on. This is how this works." And have that communication. When we were doing the class all the time, once a year we would have what we call spouse night, which was basically we got together at some guy's house. We ordered a bunch of pizzas, got a bunch of beer, and I had a PowerPoint presentation that I made that we used to put up, and we'd be drinking, having fun, no snakes, just drinking and hanging out. And we would go slide by slide and show the wives, show the boyfriends, show the girlfriends, show the roommates, hey, this is what happens when X, Y, and Z happens. This is what you're going to do as the buddy system, whatever, in the event of an envenomation, X, Y, Z. And we made a little party of it, and it's very eye-opening, especially to the wives, the girlfriends, the boyfriends, the husbands that had no idea. Because it wasn't just dudes doing this. We had female students as well, absolutely. And I feel like that was an eye-opening thing for a lot of people. So, and when I say the mentorship and ask around, like that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You know, anybody can learn how to use a hook or adapt the way they hold the rubber grip, whatever. That's something totally different. But in terms of just keeping in general and breaking quote unquote bad habits or wrong habits for venomous, that's a big deal, is letting the other people in your life know what's going on and how to work with it. And soapbox rant. Sorry.
No, that was fantastic. I know you said that stuff before on your podcast, but it's always good to rehear it for maybe some other people who are new or who are thinking about it, kind of thing, right? It's always good to get that in your mind again, even as a field herper, right?
I always feel like I'm beating a dead horse with that whole lecture. Ugh.
Well, if it saves somebody's life, it's not that bad.
Hopefully.
So
It was a
I'm
good
not
lecture
sure if
for
you
me.
want to. I
Thanks,
have
man,
one kind of general question. I'm not sure you can decline to answer, but
Yeah.
so have you like witnessed any like working wholesale on that? Have you ever seen anybody get bit, anybody die, like anything like that?
No one that I know personally has died. I've seen several envenomations. I've seen ones that were, couldn't have asked for a better one. I've seen ones that were really, really not good. One of the worst ones I've ever seen was a friend of mine who I haven't spoken to in many years. This is over 20 years ago. He was keeping illegally, and it was when me and him were both getting our hours together. That's how long ago this was. And he was keeping illegally, and he had a fer-de-lance. And the fer-de-lance was a very cooperative animal. It was. And one day he just wasn't hooking it right, and it slipped off the hook, and it went to slither underneath his refrigerator. So he instinctually, which it happens to the best of us. He instinctually went to grab its tail because he's just used to snakes, and he just figured he's going to grab a tail and yoink it out from the refrigerator real quick and just slide it in the middle of the kitchen where he can get a better grasp of it with a hook. Only the head was right next to the tail, and he got bit in the thumb. And that's when the what I call the calm panic sets in. He's knowledgeable as to what's going to happen, so he's not actually panicking. He's not panicking like a new person or a non-herper is going. They're going to people are going to panic. You just got bit by a pit viper, like it's going to happen. He didn't panic in that regard because he knew. He panicked in the, oh shit, I just got bit by something I'm not supposed to have. What do I do? Do I go to the hospital? It doesn't hurt. Did I get a dry bite? Did I get any venom in my system? Let me just wait a little bit because I don't want to go to jail or get fined or lose my animals because I was doing something I wasn't supposed to. So he does more bad things. He has a glass of rum. So now the alcohol has thinned his blood a little bit, but he still doesn't have any pain. This is a fer-de-lance, okay? Super toxic. And after about 2 hours, he says, all right, it's starting to throb a little bit, starting to get hot in my hand. Let me have another glass of rum. And that's when he called me, and I was like, you're an idiot. Go to the freaking hospital right now. Just go to the hospital. He says, no, my girlfriend's here. She's all freaked out. I'm just going to sweat this out. He's like, I don't see any real pain happening. I think I just got what we call residual venom. So a lot of times snakes in captivity will give a defensive strike where they don't waste their venom on you. They just bite you to say, hey, man, back off. But because the venom is just always there, there's residual dried venom on that fang. And that minute amount of dried venom on the fang is what goes into you, and it gives a slight reaction, not a full-fledged envenomation. So he's thinking that's what happened. And by 5 a.m, his hand is purple and 3 times the size, and now he has fire in his veins running up his arm and into his chest. He's screwed. He got an envenomation, and his immune system was doing a hell of a job for like 3-4 hours. He wound up going to the hospital, and this is where he really effed up. He lied. He lived in an area where there was eastern diamondbacks, and he told them it was an eastern diamondback bite. And they gave him the wrong antivenom. They gave him antivenom for an eastern diamondback, not antivenom for a fer-de-lance. And he proceeded to go into system shock and serum sickness and have necrosis of the thumb, and his thumb is basically melting away. And then the next day, the doctors are like, hey, we don't know why this is happening, but we stopped the flow of the venom. You're going to survive, but we're going to amputate your hand tomorrow. And he was like, no, you're not. And he wound up ripping the cords out of his arm, like the IV and shit. And he had a phone, and he called a taxi company, like 1-800-YELLOW CAB or something. And he escaped out of the hospital to a yellow cab. And he went on to Google and found a hand surgeon like 1 county away. And he went to the hand surgeon, and the hand surgeon's like, oh, no, we can do a skin graft, and we'll fix your hand. We'll fix your hand. And they did. And they fixed his thumb. And now he has, last time I saw him was 15, 20 years ago, but he had a gnarly scar, and he got lucky. He just got super lucky. But, like, that's a series of events that was completely and wholeheartedly avoidable. But,
Am I wrong, or do Bothrops, I thought they turn your blood into like Jello basically or something, or am I wrong? I remember that from like a Python Hunters episode.
Yeah, they have an extreme coagulant, and there's kidney issues and hemoglobin issues and all sorts of things. But like I said, I think he may have been correct in the residual venom of the fang, but still, like he got lucky. He just got the luckiest of lucky. You know what I mean? So, and then I've seen accidents. My good friend got bit by his Gila monster that was puppy dog tame. And the reason why is because he was being a bonehead, and he was feeding the thing a live mouse on a kitchen table. And the mouse jumped off the table. So he goes like this to catch the mouse, only the Gila monster also dove off the table to catch the mouse. and the Gila monster got mouse and hand in the same bite. And I watched him puke his brains out and have a fever of 104 and sweats and convulsions and uncontrollable muscle spasms. And he had a hell of an 18, 20 hours, and then it all went away. And the worst part is that there's no antivenom. You know you're going to survive. There's nothing you can do. So we
Other than that one guy.
yeah, other than that one guy that had major health complications, you're not gonna. Normal people aren't gonna die. Most people, I should say, are not gonna die. And we did the right thing as good friends and venomous keepers. We made fun of him the whole time. And that was it.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't Gila monsters have a terrible mode of injection for their venom? Isn't it?
No,
No.
by injection standpoint, yes. By delivery system to a bite, it's beautiful because there's no fangs to inject. Basically,
They
the
chew
venom.
it?
No, it's just there. It's just mixed in with their saliva. So every bite that you
Gotcha.
ever get is a guaranteed envenomation. Their venom glands are actually in their lower jaw. You'll see that Gila monsters have those real thick, powerful pit bull jaws. That's not muscle, that's the venom gland on the bottom. And the teeth are actually grooved and channeled. So the venom seeps out and mixes with the normal saliva of the animal. So no matter how a Gila monster bites you, it's a guaranteed envenomation. But like I said, the 99.999% chance you're going to survive and be perfectly fine. It's just a day and a half to 2 days of hell. One guy I know, he got bit by a neonate, and it lasted for like 6 days. He just got bad reaction. But yeah, like I said, my buddy, he should have let the mouse hit the floor. Instead, he reached out to catch it, and he caught a bite instead. So things
That's
like
the
that,
thing.
you know.
Gilas are one of the venomous snakes that we did have in our venomous snakes. Jeez, lizard.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Snakes with legs. It is one of the ones I used to work with too, and God, man, I think the problem with them is they're so easy to handle and work with that I could totally see how your guard would be completely down
Yeah.
because they're slow, they're usually non-aggressive, they're extremely easy to work with. So I could see that as a problem, but yeah.
Oh, for sure, for sure. You know, and they're one of the most fun animals to teach handling, because when I start training people on Gila monsters and beady lizards, you're not grabbing them with your hands. We use 2 hooks, and sometimes you get a lizard that's like, "Oh, we're going for a ride," and he's all happy, he's flying through the air, and other ones are like, "No," and they death roll and they flop around and they do everything in their power to bite the hook and twist it and flip it around. And yeah, you are a very good Gila handler when you can pick up an adult Gila monster that's pissed off with 2 hooks. That's the goal. No hands on. And it is just spicy blue tail skinks, yes. So
Yeah, no, they're cool. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often, honestly, with them. Like, you would
I'm
think
sure
for
it
how
does. No one talks about
chill they are, that like more people and there wouldn't be more like hospital trips of them. Maybe there is, and they just keep it on the down low kind of thing. But
Oh, I will say there's a lot of, there's not a lot. I won't say a lot. I don't want to generalize and inflate numbers anecdotally, but there is more bites that happen and are not reported than you'd imagine. That being said, I don't agree with it. I don't condone it at all, but I'm almost glad that they're not public because it draws less attention to us in terms of the boneheads making bonehead things happen, you know? And nobody wants the PR. I had a friend who got bit by a rattlesnake in the Everglades, and I wasn't with him. I was at work or something. And he called me and he's like, "Hey, I got bit by a rattlesnake in the Glades. My friends just dropped me off at this hospital in such and such town. They dumped me." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, they dumped me in the front of the ER and drove away. And I was like, "Why would they do that?" He goes, "Because I guess they're not real friends." And I was like, "Wow, that's effed up." I was like, don't worry, I'm getting out of work. I'm coming to you right now just to be there with you, because he didn't want to tell his mom because she would freak out and panic and stuff. And, which a lot of us kind of have the same sentiment with, mothers in that regard. But I went there and everything was good. They gave him the antivenom correctly. Venom 1 was there. He was taken care of really well. But he was doped up pretty good, and he was not all there. He knew who I was and everything, but he was loopy, kind of silly. And that's when the woman with the wheelie podium came in. And she's like, hi, my name is, I don't know, Sally, whatever. She's like, hi, my name is Sally, and I'm with such and such, and I just want to talk to you about your venomation, and what were you doing in the Everglades, and why were you there, and what kind of snake was it? And he's like, well, I was a diamondback whale snake. He's all loopy. And I was like, whoa, stop. I was like, stop talking right now. Who are you with, miss? And she's like, oh, I'm with such and such. I mean, you mean Channel 7? And she's like, well, that's kind of a slang. I was like, no. You're a reporter, and you're trying to dupe my buddy who's drugged up and had a traumatic medical incident. You're trying to dupe him into giving you permission to write whatever story and put whatever you want. How about you get out of this room right now? And she was all pissed off, and her and I got in a fight, and hospital security was involved, and hospital security's like, well, she's allowed to be here. The doctors are the ones who call them and tell them, because the doctors get a slice of the take, you know what I mean? And it was a huge thing, but that just goes to show you that I can see why people may not want to go to the hospital. But in the end of the day, go to the freaking hospital. You will survive in theory. So, I don't know if that was relative to what we were talking about, but it's a good story.
And if you're in Canada, it'll be free.
Story.
And if you're in Canada, it's free.
Yep.
If you're in Canada, it's free.
We don't go in medical debt, so that's good.
That's it, man. God bless. You know how much a snake bite is on average in the U.S.?
$300,000.
Typically.
I was gonna say like 160.
Yeah, no. If you're just like a hiker on a trail and you get bit, a lot of times your normal health insurance will cover the whole thing. If you're a venomous keeper, like they knowingly have them at home, oh no, it's 300, 400,000, easy. Yep. Oh, Canada.
Yeah, there's some bonuses to not paying just a tiny bit more in taxes to
me,
have
I
healthcare.
I can't even fathom the idea of like literally losing everything you've worked for your entire life because of something that happened, from a snake bite to getting cancer, right? To me, it is mind blowing.
Well, and nobody pays it right away, if at all. They pay $100 a month for 50 years or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't have that yet. Knock on wood. So, but
Yeah.
yeah. But I will say this: anybody who wants to keep venomous, learn the right way, get mentors, and also keep non-venomous stuff. Because I only had venomous for a really long time, and I missed having stuff that I could play with. And that's when I got corn snakes, and I got more carpets, because I had a little break where there was like 10 years where I didn't have any pythons at all, and got back into carpets and got some Nova Guineas and jungles and fun stuff like that. But and obviously Trans-Pecos, God bless. But get stuff that you can actually play with and interact with. It'll also break up that monotony too, and
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I like the I like the Trans-Pecos as well because of, originally it was that West Texas trip you guys took back in, was that 2020 or 2021?
Oh, I think 2021, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you had, the week before you had Dusty on, which was pretty cool. I've re-listened to those ones so many times, and now it feels like that was last year, right? And
it does.
5 years.
I regret not, I wasn't the Subot guy I am now when I talked to Dusty. And the whole point of him being on was honestly so that Smitty could talk about Bear Eye, which is cool, which is, rock and roll. Love those snakes. But we got to get him back on again, because now I'm just going to be like, I have 2 copies of your book now. I don't even know if I'll be able to talk to him now, because I just have so many things in my head. The cogs are just spinning.
Oh yeah.
So.
And he does the horn lizard research stuff now too, which is
Oh,
super
I know.
cool.
Did you listen to him on Pingle?
Yeah. I
Oh,
listened to
dude,
that
I've listened
because
to
he
that
did
episode
that
like 5 times.
before.
Yeah.
Because he went on, and then he went on Zach and Clint's after
Yeah.
that too. Yeah, that was good. We need it, Dom. We're having it. There's a whole bunch of Kaluvid people that I have on that I haven't like brought on yet. That I have a huge list. I may need to just make another weekday show just to cover it all.
Or get a couple of espressos to be able to stay awake for those shows. But I can help. I can do that.
Hey man, I don't want to hear it from you guys. You guys are in the past.
Yeah. Well, we need a turtle show again because Brian Dumas and hasn't done a turtle show in over a year, and we need some turtle and tortoise stuff
Was
too.
me and Smitty the last one? No, he did NPR Boys after us.
Actually, I think he might have been. No, well, Ryan Dumas. I don't know. He did like a holiday show like last
2 years,
like 2024 December with Ralph Till, and then we need Ralph Till on too. Obviously, that guy's freaking.
Oh yeah.
This guy, Dom. This guy's like only thing mainly is just Egyptian tortoises. And he's like created like a whole breeding program, well, like a whole like kind of group just for Clemeni is the name, right? I think it's Clemeni. Yeah, and then but he keeps some other cool rare tortoises as well. But yeah, no, he's like freaking phenomenal. He's like there's so many. I love these tortoise people honestly, and turtle people because like you don't like you hear what Anthony talks about, and like you can watch his weekly YouTube show, which is fantastic. But I feel, and he has his podcast, but now his podcast isn't even on like Spotify or anything. So it's like we need there needs to be some sort of podcast covering and just basic care. I think they I love the nerdy stuff, but like we like I think there should be some basic care on mud, musk, sliders, pink bellied side, just like basic care of what. Just so like say like I'm vending a show with my buddy and we have those on the table kind of thing. It could be like, yeah, just watch this video. It has everything you need to know. Obviously, there's articles you can really get into it, but this basic stuff, right? Like, because with like Euros, it's easy. Oh, just look at Philip's care sheet because he's the man.
Yeah.
And then go listen to the 30 podcasts he's done on it, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just like a whole brain thing I have going on right
I
now.
love it, man. I love it.
See, my fear with doing podcasts, for example, on tortoises or on turtles or things like that, is that it's something that is so foreign to me. Like that, the idea of having to do a podcast for 2 hours about a subject that I know very little. Like I've taken care of turtles, I've taken care of tortoises when I was at the zoo and I was cleaning the 1,500 animals, but I knew the basic minimum to take care of all the animals that I didn't know. And I knew a lot more about the animals I enjoyed working with. I loved monitors, I loved crocodilians, and I loved snakes. Those were the animals I loved to take care of, and birds of prey. Like those were the things that I used to do all the time. The rest, like the tortoises, I do like, okay, you mean I really got to go, going to cut up vegetables and then all this type of shit for 3 hours to feed like all the vegetarians in the zoo sucked. Like to me, that's not fun. Like if I'm cutting up lettuce and all that kind of shit, it's for myself. I'm not doing it for tortoises. I don't know. So doing a show about animals that, man, like I'm not gonna lie, like I'd struggle because I'd be like, so what are they? How do you take care of them? Yeah, like I don't know. It
I
scares
feel like
me.
I'm with you. I am, but I also feel like a lot of times when it's something like that, like on our show, I find myself asking way more questions than I normally do because I don't know anything about it. And like you know what? Screw it. If it makes me sound like a moron, I'm like, oh, they're not aquatic. They don't live in the desert or whatever the question is. Educate me. Let's fill this 2-hour slot. You know?
Exactly. That's what I think too. Like even when we have
but I'm with you,
shows,
Dom. I am.
Yeah, I feel like I got that. Not that I know everything at all, in that, but like I feel like I've kind of got like I haven't even kept really turtles or tortoises myself. But you get that you do your deep dive without actually keeping them, and you get like a base knowledge. I would say like a very vague base knowledge in terms of like talking to Anthony and guys like that just know so much and have their whole greenhouse full of turtles.
Like I don't know
Right.
anything about turtles, but like I know I love Connexus, and I know I love
Yeah.
wood turtles. And like I don't have wood turtle. My mom's got Connexus, so like I get that itch scratched with her tortoises. But I know that if something happens and I am not able to keep snakes, like I'm gonna have wood turtles, and they're gonna be adorable. Just that's just gonna happen. I don't know
Yeah.
anything about them, but I'm gonna have them.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I don't know. That's some thoughts I have going on. Just like obviously you guys, like Smitty got in that of wanting to have the second show after having doing the one show for I think it was a couple years, and then you guys kind of became buddies, and then that all merged. I remember that, and then when Smitty tried to like merge it all onto the podcast, and you could probably I think they missed it was like sporadic the first 20, and then he all loaded them all on one day, and
Oh yeah.
that was all fun.
Well, I tell you what though, we use StreamYard, and it it's been it's very easy now. It was a pain in my ass, but trying to before YouTube had their podcast system, I didn't put Venom Exchange Radio on YouTube because it was like I was like, why? Like nobody listens to podcasts on YouTube, which clearly is wrong. It's very very wrong, Phil. But now StreamYard has a button, so once the episode is published and out, I click the button and it automatically sends it to the YouTube, which I thought was awesome.
Oh
So
yeah, I
I
had
still
to add
have a
it.
bunch, but
Yeah, I had like through this it goes out through Spotify,
yeah.
but I still have to add like you have to add Apple Podcasts, but then for YouTube and YouTube Music, which is I think used to be something else. I forget what it was, but Chris Montross was the one that put it on because hey, you want to come on the show at some point, which we still need to have him on, but he's like, oh, I can't see it because he uses something else, and then because it goes on to the music part of it, it still automatically then uploads. So like the
Okay.
first like 10 shows or 20 shows we did, I had manually uploaded the podcast to YouTube. So now but then we do the live streams. I almost wish we could like take it off and only have the live stream so people can just watch the original instead of like watching the static screen of our logo.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But
I was actually going to ask you that. So, like, I listen to you guys on Apple Podcasts because that's just what I use. But right now, we see each other, but on YouTube, it's just going to be the rejects picture, right?
well, they could click on the live
So, like,
kind of thing.
so like they can see us now, but once this
Yeah.
is done, it'll just
Well,
be.
the live is still up there,
Oh, okay, okay, cool.
but it also gets uploaded to the YouTube Music, which
Well, I was just thinking, like,
then uploads
earlier.
it to the account.
Right, right. But I was thinking earlier when you were showing those pictures of snakes, someone who's
Yeah.
listening on their commute, they can hop on YouTube, much like Snakes and Stogies, and
Yeah.
fast forward
As
that
long
part
as they
on
hop on the live
the
part
live
of it, they
list.
can.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or and it should pop up on Spotify and that too.
Oh, excellent.
So yeah, of course the cool Bill Hughes one. I'm not sure if you listened to that. That one was awesome. But that was also the first one I started pulling up pictures, and then the recording was super slow on one side, like in terms of like the upload. Didn't want to upload off Bill's iPad or whatever he recorded off of. So then it didn't. So I had to like save it in a way and then manually upload it, so it was just like no pictures at all, even though he sent like all the Ruschenbergerai and the Sanzinia and the Zanata, and that was that would have been so cool. We need to have Bill on again because at some point because he was super fantastic to have on. You guys need to have Bill on.
Yeah.
Bill's a fantastic guy to talk to.
Yeah. I definitely want to hear about Rauschenbergerei because I kept them for a while, and then I kept them for a while on their way to Billy, and dude, they're amazing animals, man. Absolutely amazing animals. And I'm not a tree boa guy, but those things are awesome. So
Oh yeah, they're like a scrub python that's a boa.
yeah, dude, legit.
Like they're
legit.
freaking.
Yeah.
They're cool. Yeah. Do you have any guests you want to have on? Like, obviously, like, we all have our list, but I'm sure your list is now more refined into some actual, like,
Well, it's tough because like I want to have people come back on because it's been several years. And then there's a bunch of venomous guys that I want to have on Venom Exchange Radio. Like I was before the show, I was just talking to Joe Smith, who's seems like a stand-up fella. Him and I chat pretty well on Instagram, and he's got some amazing enclosures. And you know, planted venomous that's not bioactive, so it's still relatively easy and safe for him to extract the animals, but it's not just a Cocoon Viper on paper. You know what I mean? Which I think looks great and is functional and kind of fills the scratches the itch of having it be a pretty window, but also be safe and easy to maintain. And he's also a Ambystoma guy, and that's who doesn't love Ambystoma? Salamanders for life. So I want to have him on, and then definitely need to have Dr. Kevin Messenger back on for his new book, Venomous Snakes of Asia, which we will be having him on as soon as the books are the pre-orders that he fulfilled are stateside and not in China. We're gonna have him on Venom Exchange Radio, so that's a given. But other than that, there's people in the woodworks, people in the on the Gillen list, as they say.
Awesome. Do you and Nipper have any shows coming up or ready to be released?
No,
I always look forward to those because you guys are
don't.
fantastic.
We were gonna have a buddy of mine named Alec, who is a environmental consultant, and he actually trained under Loafman, then went to school with Loafman. We're gonna have him on, but he wound up getting called out for a job, and he was in field, and we have to reschedule that, and had a couple other academics that, again, because of academics being academics, it's hard to track them down. So we have a lot of people literally in the queue, but trying to pin people down right now, first beginning of the year, it's difficult, and then Nipper's been working and I've been working, and the time change messes it up because it's 5-hour difference. So, but we're working on it. Venom Exchange Radio will return.
Yeah, we'll have to get Nipper on it sometime too. So we'll
Oh,
have to
you
do
do?
another weird hours. Well, not that
Absolutely.
weird. Actually, Scott and Ty were pretty easy to have on. You just either record on Saturday or
Yeah.
or Scott decides to play hooky with work.
I would say, and Nipper's usually pretty good to do a show like tonight, as long as because he gets the option to work late sometimes, so he'll stay up late sometimes. But if you did like a 7 or 8 o'clock on a Sunday, he'd probably be game for that. And now he's got crap. I think he's got almost as many North American animals as he does everything else now. I mean, he's got pines, and he's got all kinds of Lampropeltis, and it's just he's got Apodora, and he's booking, man.
Well, he has Oh yeah, and then he has the Jamaicans and stuff like that too, right? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he'd be cool. And then we can talk herping with him too.
Oh,
'Cause
for sure.
I know I always love talking that. I'm not sure about Dom.
He he messaged me because we used to talk. We do talk a lot, but like I said, him and I have both been very busy. But about a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, he messaged me. He's like, "This guy posted these cages on Craigslist. They're dart frog enclosures." And I was like, "Yeah, but you don't have dart frogs." And he goes, "Not yet." So like he got these free cages, so now he had to get dart frogs. Like you know what I mean? And I feel like that's such a herper thing to do. It's like the guy who buys the wheels for the car before he bought the car. I love it. It's such a herper thing.
Yeah, I almost want to start messing around with tree frogs or something, or toads, because I can
Dude,
now that I live in
toads.
Alberta, we can keep way more stuff than BC, because BC made their law in like '82, so everything was in Bufo, and everything is in, and everything was in Hylidae because of the Pacific chorus frog or tree frog,
Yeah,
or however you
yeah.
want to call it. So technically, like all that, like even White's tree frogs are technically illegal, even though pet stores accidentally get them in still. Like it's not like you're not going
Yeah.
to jail for it necessarily, but you should try to stay within the law, kind of thing. But here, I can keep red eyes. I could keep some red spotted toads and stuff. So
Very
it'd be
cool.
kind of cool to. I think there's like a hand like cane toads and Colorado river toads are like the only ones that aren't allowed here. So like that's pretty easy to fall in line with.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I want to go and I want to have an army of southern toads. I want locality specific ones that I feel collected myself. But I feel like right now I need to focus on desert stuff, and they don't do well in an arid environment. So I've only got one Bufotes left, Egyptian locality, and dude, he's loving it. He's loving the desert room. He's got his moss, and when I throw in crickets, he screams and goes, "Meow, meow, 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 meow." And it's cute, man. I love toads. They're great.
Oh yeah, Was it Tyrone? He has like I think a trio of those smooth-sided toads, so they're like
Oh, does he?
that
Oh,
big.
nice. Those
They're
giant
huge.
Vietnamese ones or whatever. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Our sponsor Greg has some too, but his are like this big. Well, Ty's
Nice.
are like
Oh,
that
dude.
big. He keeps them in
Diesel.
like a 4x2x2 because they're
That's
just
awesome.
huge.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna
Yeah,
try to
man.
breed him this year. I mean, if he doesn't do it, I'm gonna set up the rain chamber and throw him in
Hell
it.
yeah, man. Hell yeah. You know what I really want is when we were in Arizona with Dustin, uh, we found a Grand Canyon tree frog. And man, if he didn't say, "Oh, look, a tree frog," you would have never it just looked like a rock on the canyon wall. And then he walks over and he touches it and it jumps. And it was maybe, I don't know, 90 degrees at midnight when we were out there, and that tree frog's just on the side of a rock wall. No water for a mile. And I feel like they would do well in my desert room. But look at that thing. Look at that stupid, cute little toad. Those toes.
Oh yeah,
Makes me
and
think
there's
of like the
green toads as well in Arizona and West Texas, right? Or
Oh, yeah.
Arizona. Yeah,
Hmm.
kind of looks
I
like
want
our
those. Those are cool.
Grace tree frogs here.
Yeah, I think they're cousins.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they're like a
yeah, I think they're
canyon
close.
cousin. Yeah. But I just, I was shocked. There was no water for miles, man. Miles. And that thing was just living on, like that. It was just living on a canyon wall. That's
Yeah,
a
you
great
see like
shot.
Noah Fields' videos going out in West Texas, and it's like, oh, it's like super dry out. Hasn't rained in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Toad,
Yeah.
frog,
Yeah.
which is super neat, right?
Yeah, man.
I guess it's the same with spadefoots, like herping in the Okanagan in BC.
Hmm.
Like it's like super dry, but then 10, 12 o'clock at night, oh look, all the toads decide to be suicidal on the road. You see them hopping all over the place. Bone dry, hasn't rained in weeks, but they're
That's
still
wild.
out.
Absolutely wild.
I'm sure it'll be the same here, kind of thing. Apparently, there's tons of different subspecies, but the plains spadefoots are out in Alberta, so I'll get to find those, and I'll get to find horn lizards too.
Oh,
That's gonna
that's
be
awesome.
cool. Yeah, tiger salamanders are everywhere here apparently as well,
Oh,
so that'll be
nice.
fun.
Nice.
Those are super rare in BC, but here they're everywhere.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. I
Yeah,
didn't know they went up that north.
yeah. Oh, they go up to Edmonton.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they're throughout like Calgary and Edmonton the whole
That's
way.
so cool, man.
Oh yeah, I didn't know they went that far either. It was insane. And then hognose, get to go look, try
Yeah,
to
of
find
course. Of
hognose.
course.
So yeah, there's some stuff I can maybe set out to look for this summer and that.
Dude, it's going to be the Mike Gillen amphibian summer.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it,
we'll
bro.
see how well I do once it warms up here, especially for the amphibians.
That's cool, man. That's real cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got any
Yep.
before we wrap it up? Do you got any herp trips coming up this year? Or are you kind of
Oh
maybe
man,
waiting and seeing?
I need to figure stuff out. I'm gonna try and meet up with Rob and Nipper and the boys in. I'm hoping for Arizona because there's a couple species that Nipper and I need to go tick off that the other boys have kind of dialed in, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But other than that, I honestly don't know. I need to work on more Florida stuff. And I need to get back to the Keys because, first of all, the Keys is amazing. It's the Keys for crying out loud. But there's totally different species down there, and they're very endemic to that area. And most of them are protected. So there's a good chance of seeing them because they aren't, overfished, so to speak. So I think I'm going to try and do some more day trips like that and just kind of leave early, couple hours south, bomb around for a few hours, drive back, that kind of thing. But other than that, I don't have anything planned yet. So,
Nice. And that's
yeah.
like the was it? There's some weird skinks and legless lizards and stuff down there, right? And some
Yeah, well,
stuff like that, or
there's I think two different skinks, and then there's there's a particular type of rimrock snake, I think it is, and
or is that
then
that one that's like right beside? Or am I thinking about the one that's beside like Universal or something, right? Or isn't there something like that where like the only batch of land is like owned by one of like the
No, I know what you're
parks?
talking about. No, this is very far away from there. This is
Oh,
like
okay.
500 miles south. No, these is just unique snakes that and reptiles that are only found in Monroe County, southern tip of Florida. I've also I've realized that I've never seen a crocodile in the wild that was not eye shine. So, and when we were at Carpet Fest, Casey and his girlfriend were there, and they're like, "Oh man, I'm thinking about driving down to tip of Florida because I want to see crocodiles in the wild." I was like, "Dude, it's gonna be too cold. You're not gonna see anything." Dude, they saw like 12, and it was like in the 60s, and I was like, "This is crazy." So like now I gotta go find a crocodile.
I've
But
seen crocs in the wild in two places. I've seen, well, saltwater crocs in Australia, and I've seen in Belize. When I went to Belize, we went to a small island called Cape Cocker,
oh
which I
yeah, I've
think
heard of that.
there's a type of boa from there, the tiny.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
on Cape Cocker, we were sleeping in a, I don't know, whatever, like really ghetto little hotel that was like $8 a night. And on the back deck, you could look, and there was a water and an inlet, and there was tons of baby crocs there. They
That's
would come out
awesome.
like American crocs were about like 3.5 feet, and they would come out on the beach and just stay there. But if you even every time I tried to get out and walk towards there, they were gone. Couldn't get
Oh yeah,
anywhere more than couldn't get 20 feet from them. But
that's
yeah, so
awesome.
I've seen American crocs and salties.
That's so cool, man. So cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Awesome. Do you have any final questions there, Dominic?
Not really, man. I enjoyed the flow of this conversation. It just felt like just chatting, and I love these kind of shows. They're nice and relaxed, and
Thanks, man. I love being here with you guys. It's good stuff. Sorry if I was a little rambly at times.
ramble
Oh
away,
no,
man. That's why
it
we
was.
like guests that talk.
Oh yeah, like
Uh,
Ron St. Pierre. That was fantastic. Having Ron on was super cool. Did you listen to that show?
no, man, I'm so behind on podcasts, man. I've
Yeah.
got like 10 episodes with you guys, and I've got God knows how many with NPR, and I know Rob's mad at me because I'm like 10 episodes in Fight Club behind too. So
Yeah, I can see, right, like sometimes like you're driving home and you're like, well, now my commute is like what, 10 minutes home, and so I was like putting podcasts on while I'm just puttering around the house kind of thing, right? And then you're like, and then you don't what you used to get through because maybe you listen to it during work and stuff. You get you listen to too many podcasts and you're having to re-listen to, not that it's a bad thing, but to stuff from NPR from 15 years ago, which you always enjoy listening to, but sometimes you listen to the episode 15 times and you need maybe a little bit of a break from it. But now it's like, now you're like, now I'm behind on some stuff kind of thing. So it's kind of,
well,
yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from.
I'm also envious for you guys that a lot of guys listen to it when they're cleaning snakes or feeding snakes. I can't do it, man, because what happens is I'm too focused on the snakes and like obviously safety and shit too with the venomous, but like I'm just focused on them, and then I have no idea what I just heard. And I'm listening to the same like half an hour over and over again because I'm like, oh, that sounded cool. Rewind, rewind, rewind. Okay, I'm listening, and I'm like, oh shit, and like I got to do this and that, and I walk away, and then I'm like, oh man, I got to rewind it again, and I listen to it again. So like I just stop listening to podcasts when I'm cleaning snakes.
Oh
But
no, that's me. I don't necessarily rewind all the time, but I just kind of throw it on and I'll try to listen, but like stuff's going on and you don't always take it all in
yeah,
like you do when you're driving or something, right? So yeah, it's
I
tough.
do I do two full water changes of my entire room a week, so I listen to always minimum two podcasts.
oh nice,
So
that's
whichever
good.
one it is, but with the amount that there are now, like you got to be selective. Like
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I look at the guests, I look at what the conversation is about, and I'm like, nope, yes, nope, 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 and and even by doing that, I still have like over 15 podcasts that I need to listen to that I'm not catching up. Because
yeah,
then new ones come in, you're deleting the ones you don't want to listen to, and then like there's just so many now. We're just, yeah.
yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like we're just another one cluttering the space, but
No, no,
you
no,
know what it
no,
is.
not at all, man, not at all. It's a
Yeah,
variety of the spice of life.
yeah.
I will say, I
Although,
will ask this though,
uh,
Dom. Do you
you
have?
go.
So sorry, man. Do you have uh 2 or 3 sets of water bowls for everything, or do you like hand
No,
wash as you go?
I hand wash as I go. and I'm okay with that. And
Yeah.
I'm not one to switch because I think switching bulls is a bad practice, but that's me.
Okay.
Only because I don't want to take the bull from cage A and put it in cage B unless it's been fully sterilized. So I prefer taking one bull, cleaning it properly, and reusing it.
Smart.
And I'm not a fan of the whole plastic deli cup inside because to me that's just disgustingly like a large amount of littering.
Oh yeah.
So I good for you if you're doing it. That's not what I do. So no, I have the bowl that is for that cage is staying in that cage and it's never coming out.
Cool. Yeah.
So I'm just with pythons. There's so much cross contamination. Nido is such a really big thing that that cage there. I wash my hands. I've got like literally like a bucket of alcohol. I dip my hands in it in between each cages. Dip everything between every cage. I've become a bit of bit anal retentive regarding that. So
That's
no, the
fine.
bowl stays in the cage and it belongs to that cage.
That's good, man. I'm the same exact way. I'm the same exact way. And now I see that a lot of these new dishwashers are having like a legitimate sanitized cycle. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like these guys that have, 50, 100 bowls, they can put 50 or 100 bowls in dishwasher, boom, sanitized. But at the same time, that's where I put my food and like my knives and forks. And I'm like, ooh, the rat regurg in that bowl. And, ugh. Yeah.
Would
So,
would the wife let you put a water bowl that's been pooped on where
oh,
she will
no,
eat later?
no,
That's
I
that's
don't want
the
that.
issue.
Forget the
No,
wife. I don't want that.
yeah, but let's be honest. Our threshold's a little bit lower than the wife's threshold. That's all I
That is
gotta
true.
say.
That
So
is very true.
I
That is
probably would
very
let it
true.
go, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you got that one. You got that one. Oh man.
Oh yeah, awesome. Do you have any other questions for us, Phil? It's always good
Um,
to.
I want to ask are you obviously I know you're gonna do some herping. Dom, any reptile adventures planned for the upcoming summertime?
So I don't. I don't particularly love to herp around where I am because I find that there's not that much. There's only one or
Yeah.
two areas that's pretty good. I'll probably go back. That being said, um, I'm moving. We will see how that goes. After that, I have promised my kids a trip in a very, very long time, which will have to be a cruise, probably somewhere in the Caribbean, because I
That'd
haven't
be
done that
cool.
in a long time. Will I do herping once I'm back there? Maybe, but it'll probably be more alcohol and beaches.
That's
Um,
fine. That's
and
fine,
in the
man.
future, I would like to get my ass back to Australia. Australia is my dream. It's the place I would love to live. It's the place where I want to go. Have not been there in about 7 years now, and it is time to return. So, I am putting my goals is not this summer, but within the next 2 years, just to go back to Australia.
Hell
So
yeah,
no, I don't
man.
have anything specific, but I do want to go down west once for one of the western shows and go see Mike and people like that. And another one of my big goals is actually to go to a carpet fest in the states one day because it actually
Hell yeah.
really isn't that far. Like it's pure laziness on my part because the original carpet fest is I think it's less than 4 hours, maybe 4 or 5 hour drive. Like it's totally
Yeah.
doable, and yet I've never done it.
Well,
So
now you can. Now you will.
well, I always could. I just never did.
Now,
Yeah,
now they
on
need
it.
to put it. Now they need to get it back going so that you can go.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah. But I love herping. I just where I am. I mean, it's just not the best place to herp.
I
Is
get
the
it, man.
best way I can put it. And it's always the same thing. When I
Got
go
so many
herping,
turtles though.
no, I only see two snakes always: water snakes and garter snakes, the common garter snake. Like that's the only two things I ever see. And once every couple of years, I'll see a black rat snake. That's like the big thing. So, and that's about it. Do I see turtles? Yeah, I see turtles, but I see turtles like right in my backyard in the Ottawa River, right beside me. And I'll see musk turtles, I'll see snappers, I'll see red-eared sliders, I'll see yellow spotteds, I'll see. Trying to think of what
The
else.
spotted turtles are
Maybe
pretty
That's
cool,
pretty
the
awesome.
spotted,
Yeah.
yeah, and they're everywhere. Like
and
where
wood
we go,
turtles,
they're you can
and you got
you'll
you
take
got
a walk.
blandings out there too.
We do have blandings. I've seen blandings a lot, and I've seen them all, and they're cool. But I'd be lying to you if I told you turtles are my favorite things. Like they're cool, but I'm a snake guy, right?
Yeah,
So, and we only get a few salamanders, or newts, or whatever you want to call them. And the most common ones are red back, leadbacks, or something
yeah,
like that.
redbacks.
There you go. Thank you. Blue spotted salamanders and yellow spotted salamanders. I think they're the three that we find. And I'm saying salamander. Are they salamanders or newts? They're salamanders, right?
They're salamanders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
those are all
like,
salamanders.
and I mean, you go walk and you flip a couple of the right rotted log, and you'll find 2 or 3. But after you find 10, you kind of stop flipping logs and looking for them, right? So yeah, and it's cool. It's just the problem is for the past 20 years, that's all I find. It's always the same
Yeah.
things. So
Yeah,
eventually,
that's
it's
pretty
kind of
fair.
like I wish I went somewhere else and could find anywhere else. And there isn't much. And if I go to the Quebec side, which I go often, it's an even colder province, and there's even less. So it doesn't really improve.
The only thing you gotta click off is fox snakes and Mississaugas.
I've seen the fox snake before. I've seen milk snakes before. I've done the black rat. I've seen one green. I think it was a smooth green snake. I've seen one queen snake. I've seen the tiny little red snakes, red-bellied
the red-
snakes.
Yeah, yeah.
Never seen the Massasauga rattlers. Is our way back up. They're like
I
5,
think
6
there's
hours, but I've
Butler's
never gone.
garters are the only other endangered species out there.
Butler's garters. I don't know.
And-
I've
and
seen
blue
ribbon
racers.
snakes. We have ribbon snakes. I don't know what else.
I think blue racers are on like one little island off the coast
Never
now
seen
because
blue
they're
races.
extirpated from the mainland or something. But yeah, like, you guys have stuff, but I totally get what you mean. You need to do. I still want to get to West Texas at some point. Maybe when down south chills out a little bit, kind of thing.
Fly me out
Don't
to
want
West
to be
Texas.
don't
I'll
want to
visit.
get sent to some facility just because I have a different
Well,
passport.
I mean, it's wild that the first time I did West Texas was back in we would say 21 or whatever, and man, we would get stopped by immigration at least 2-3 times a night. I think the record was like 6 or 7 in one night. When I went with Rob 2 summers ago, or 2 years ago, whatever it was, we didn't get stopped once. So, I mean, obviously now the political climate is very different, but I don't know what was different. Maybe it was because it was a van opposed to a car. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows, right?
Yeah, who knows?
I'm sure they get sent different, and it was probably the time of year maybe too, but who knows?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Time of year too.
Yeah. I definitely still want to go. Like, it doesn't deter me that much. It's like we're not there doing anything illegal, so
Exactly.
shouldn't be an issue, kind of thing, right?
Everyone's
and
gotta-
Arizona too.
Oh, for sure. Everyone's got to go down to Del Rio, go get a burrito, and then when you get out of the car, your phone goes ding, ding, ding. Verizon Wireless. Welcome to Mexico. It's got to happen, man. It's gotta
Well,
do it.
that was me. Was it before I moved back here or moved here? We're working in a house in like White Rock, which is like across the bay from Blaine in Washington. So like we walk downstairs and there's like weird. They put like an elevator in this house that overlooks the ocean, kind of thing. And then you walk upstairs, you have the Canadian reception. For some reason, you go downstairs and you start getting Verizon and AT&T, and you're like, but like,
Yeah.
literally only gone up and down. I haven't even.
A single
I'm not
foot
even
stairs.
necessarily near the border. This
Yeah,
is weird.
yeah. That's crazy.
But yeah, that's always funny to see.
Good stuff, boys. Good stuff.
Nice. Well, Phil, huge thank you for coming on. Really
Thank you,
appreciate
man.
it. It's fun to just chat. I really enjoyed
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, me too.
Do you mind dropping any of your contacts, any of your podcasts,
Yeah.
everything and every way that people can get a hold of you at 3 a.m?
Of course, of course. I'll put my notifications on loud. You can find me on Instagram. It's knobtails.ig. Knobtails like the gecko. .ig. That's my reptile account. You can find me Snakes and Stogies on the Herpetoculture Network almost every Monday night at 9 p.m. East Coast time. We do our live show, Snakes and Stogies. And then you can find me on podcasts anywhere, as well as Instagram, Venom Exchange Radio. That's me and Nipper Reed's show about all things venomous. It's also on YouTube, Venom Exchange Radio on YouTube. So, yeah, definitely go on Instagram, Venom Exchange Radio, Instagram, knobtails.ig, and Venom Exchange Radio everywhere you can listen. That's it, man. Thank you guys so much for tonight. It was a lot of fun. I love talking to my brothers from the Great White North. And, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you, Phil. I'm
We
always
appreciate
glad.
you,
Always
man.
good to talk to you. We'll
I love
obviously
it.
have to have you on again. Have to have Smitty on again. It's always
Yeah.
good to chat with you boys.
Yeah, we gotta do the duet again. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it
Or
was fun
is
for
it
sure.
no, it's not duet, it's a double date. Double date. That's what it is. So
Awesome. Well, I'll
All right.
thank our sponsor, Cornell's World. You can go check out cornellsworld.com and go place your order today for either your standard PVC cages that come from your standard 4x2x2 to two 4x2x2s together, so you get an 8x2x2 kind of thing. But Greg can pretty much make whatever you want. He can also make custom glass terrariums, and you can get your heat panels or herp stats, cleaning supplies, Exoterra, Arcadia, whatever you want in terms of your reptile supplies. So go check out cornellsworld.com and place your order today. Also, check out the Western Canadian Reptile Expo at wcre.ca and go buy your tickets for the upcoming Calgary show, April 19th and 20th in Calgary. Everything is on the site, and yeah, go check it out. It's the biggest reptile expo in Western Canada. Alrighty, Dom, you can close it out.
Well done. Well done. Um, if anybody wants to get a hold of Mike, it'll be Michael Gillian on Facebook. If anybody wants to get a hold of the podcast, Reptile Rejects on Instagram, you will be talking to Michael, not me. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. Not that I would reply anyway. And Facebook for myself, Dominic Calvino, Instagram, Dom's Reptiles, and that's about it. If you're looking for a couple of carpet pythons, I only have a few left. I think we have like 3 Brettles left, 3 Inlands left, a couple of Jaltons, maybe 1 Jungle left, and 3 baby pygmy pythons. I think that is all that is left. So we're down to like 12 or 13. Not even. I think because I sold another. I think we sold 4 this week. So yeah, not much left. But reach out to me if you do. Except for that, guys. Thank you for logging on. Thank you, Phil, for coming on. Great guest.
you.
And to everybody, I wish you a good night, and we will see you next week. Have a good night, guys.